believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time. I'm a person who will spike the conversation, who will get politics rolling and stimulate new questions and new answers to our current political dilemma facing our nation. I believe I have a keen understanding of the economy and how to improve where we're at relative to other nations around the world. I believe that our goal at America's Third Party was to create a very strong platform in which would propel the American people forward with new opportunities and a new possibility of creating a better nation, a cleaner environment, and less war. I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to America's Third Party and Sustainable Saturday. I am David Sponheim, and we are just digesting what Trump said at his rallies. He spent most of his time talking about, at the Tulsa rally, about his running down a ramp. America is falling apart, and this guy is trying to defend the way he walked down a ramp. For 15 minutes, he talked about walking down a ramp and how he was not running, he was walking. I mean, he couldn't be more irrelevant and incompetent than he is today. And he's in there right now in Tulsa telling the people of Oklahoma that he's going to save the day and he's going to make them greater and wonderful. Yet we don't really see a lot of new business and manufacturing coming into Oklahoma. We see quite the opposite. We see manufacturing dwindling. We see a state that is very, very sick. So sick, they've got one of the highest syphilis rates in the country. Nobody's dealing with that, and it keeps going up, the syphilis rate. But oh no, Trump is going to appease the people that have gone to the Oklahoma rally and tell them what they want to hear without actually solving America's problems. Let's listen in.
Said these are animals. And Nancy Pelosi said, these are human beings, they're not animals. If I lose an election over that, you know what? This country's in big trouble. Big trouble. They want to disarm law-abiding citizens and dismantle our police forces while freeing vicious MS-13 gang members.
When is he going to send our National Guard into the rogue state forming in Seattle? What is he waiting for? I would have been there 3 weeks ago with the National Guard stopping this rogue state from forming. Where is he in the Minneapolis case, calling out the Acme Brick Company, whose owner is George Soros and Bill Gates and Warren Buffett? How come he's not calling out the companies that put bricks in every city in America that wanted to riot? What the hell? This guy's protecting George Soros. That's what's happening. George Soros is pulling his strings. He will not actually out George Soros. Donald Trump won't expose the Soros factor. He'll call out all the other people, the Antifa group, he'll name and blame, but he won't actually stop George Soros because George Soros loaned him $160 million. He buys people, and he bought Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is his puppet.
Can be summed up as 4 decades of betrayal, calamity, and failure. He never did anything. He was a senator, he was a vice president, he was before that something. You know what's great? President Trump was tough on this, or he was tough. They complained. Never did anything about it. He's been there for 43 years or 47 years. He never did anything about it. Biden supported every globalist attack on the American worker. Let's make every country in the world rich but ourselves, including NAFTA, the disaster of NAFTA. He wanted to go, and TPP would have ruined our automobile industry. Korea, I renegotiated the deal. I took a horrible deal. That was a Hillary Clinton special. She said, we have to make this deal with South Korea. It's going to mean 250,000 jobs. And she was right. For South Korea, 250,000 jobs. And China's entry into the World Trade Organization was supported by Sleepy Joe Biden. That was one of the worst deals economically in the history of our country. When China joined the World Trade Organization, they were flatlined for decades. They became like a rocket ship. He voted for the war in Iraq. He voted for mass amnesty for illegal aliens. He supports sanctuary cities, and now Biden wants to end immigration enforcement and he wants to require you to provide free health care for millions and millions of illegal aliens, okay?
You know, this is old news. This is like ancient news. It's like, is he still running for election in 2016? Did he forget that he shut the economy down? I shut it down because they told me. They said shut it down, so I shut it down. Did he forget that he's not even been our president for the past few months? That he surrendered his presidency? He gave it over to FEMA?
And they didn't cover it. On one of the single most important policy decisions of our lifetime, Joe Biden sided with China over America. That's closing the border. He thought it was a terrible thing. Remember, this was in January. That's early, real early, the end of January. He thought it was a terrible thing when we closed the border to many people that were badly infected with COVID. When the chips are down, Biden will always cave to the radical left. He'll always bow to the angry mob, and he will never protect you or your family, and you know that.
And how is Donald Trump protecting the poor people of Atlanta right now? As they drive by the Wendy's, this is from Insane Canadian. Thank you, Insane Canadian. Look at what they're doing. The Antifa forces that Soros supports, and Donald Trump protects Soros. I told you that. The Antifa forces are now harassing drivers trying to get a bite to eat at a Wendy's. Watch this.
Bro. What happened there?
Nothing. He's trying to go through, and the street. He's got the street. Like, you can't go through.
You can't go through. Yeah, so you just trying to drive through?
Yeah, he's trying to drive through. Like, nobody's going through.
Yeah.
They blocked the whole street. They won't even allow anybody to get a Wendy's. How is Donald Trump protecting the people of America right now? And he's bragging he's protecting America? What a fool.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad I called you a fool, and you can thank me very much. So we've got a problem, folks. We've got a president who's deluded, who's living in his own megalomaniacal dream world of narcissism, where he talks about himself all the time. We've got a president who can't even address the terrible problem facing 7 states right now, where he could have easily told them that you're not allowed to tell people they can't assemble. It's a violation of their constitutional rights. But did he recant the Constitution and describe what was going on? No, he never mentioned it. Now he's claiming he's going to do something about it?
Incredible. He never did anything against China, Joe Biden.
No, in fact, Joe Biden is actually worse than Donald Trump. That much I could agree with. Joe Biden is completely out of his mind. He's lost. And the Democrats are clinging to him like he's their great leader because he was vice president once. It's ridiculous. Our country is languishing in this terrible no hope position, where we have a leader that's simply allowing anarchy to take place in our country, claiming he's going to do something to stop it, when he's had months to resolve these problems and he hasn't even begun. Is this a Twitch-only live stream? Well, it's a live stream, is what it is. It's not an only live stream. We have videos after hours. If you wait till 10 o'clock Pacific time, we start playing videos on this show. Thanks, Jack. So there's a lot of issues that really are not being addressed by this. He's really campaigning for 2016 again. It's the same campaign he ran against 2016. We've gone 4 years with this idiot engaging in nonsensical activity with Twitter every day, not even addressing the real issues facing our country, not even conferring with the right or the left on issues, deciding he's the one who's going to make all the decisions. He hasn't led the Republican Party. In fact, many people in the Republican Party are wondering, should they drop him? He's 15% down in the polls compared to Joe Biden, and Joe Biden can't even articulate a sentence. That shows you how little we respect this man after what he's done to our country. When he said, I shut it down. I took the greatest nation in the world and shut it down. They told me to shut it down, so I shut it down. What kind of an idiot is that? How can anyone be that stupid? I agree Biden is worse. I'm not in any way going to negate the fact that Biden appears to have galloping dementia. But our system is rigged that we left with 2 candidates and no third party. Our system is rigged because they've been censoring our show for the past 10 years. 2 years for a while I was getting donations. As soon as we got kicked out of Blog TV, went over to Vaughn TV, we got no donations, hardly at all. Once they shut us down. We absolutely have a major censorship thing going down in our chat rooms. We can't even get people in. And we've been knocked down of all the lists. Like Twitch knocks us down. They don't even give us any promotional. DLive keeps us down, so they only keep us in the far reaches. I have 349 followers at DLive, and not one of them can get into the show right now, except for people that keep trying over and over again. So this nonstop censorship of alternative views and alternative candidates has led us to these 2 bad choices.
Good. And American energy will be in a position of weakness like it's never been before. And that's after we built the greatest energy country anywhere in the world by far. And they want to appoint Supreme Court justices who will utterly obliterate your Constitution. And you now see how important the Supreme Court is. Think if we didn't have 2 justices that I think have been very, very, very good.
Oh yeah, your 2 justices have literally, the ones you think are very, very good, just allowed transgenders to have more rights and be able to use the Civil Rights Act, which they weren't able to use, to defend their right to be transgender on the job. Oh, you're doing really great, Donald. You picked great judges. Yeah, like Gorsuch. Okay. That should work.
Somebody 2 days ago said, "Sir, the elite are really working hard on trying to destroy you." I said, "Yeah. Why do you call them the elite?" I said, "Why?" "Well, they're not elite. I look better than them. Much more handsome. Got better hair than they do." I got nicer properties, I got nicer houses, I got nicer apartments, I got nicer everything. I ran for politics once, just once in my life, and I became president of the United States. Once.
You had Russia's help, you puppet. You had Russian oligarchs support your campaign, you freak. You know, when the NRA got that huge donation from Russia, yeah, I banned him because he said I was reminded him of Jimmy Carter. It's unbelievable. Yeah, when Donald Trump got that huge donation from the NRA, which they got from Russia, nobody asked any questions at the NRA. The NRA never made a comment about it. They never even said, well, we're trying to work out our financial problems. They're declaring bankruptcy now because they couldn't get enough money the next year. Oh, yeah. So now the NRA is going to be declaring bankruptcy after giving him $30 million from Russia, and we're supposed to ignore that? And the Russian government controlled 184 million messages that Facebook had, using manipulative tactics like fake websites, fake usernames. Oh yeah, they gave him a lot of support in the 2016 election. This man cheated to win the 2016 election, and now he's claiming he didn't do anything wrong. The more he uses his hands, the more he's lying.
Really good. Everything's going to work out. It was great. I mean, it would have been nice if we won it. Everybody said, "Oh, you're going to win DACA. You're going to win DACA. That's easy. You got to win DACA. That's easy." They all said it. And they came back and they said, "We don't like what you did with the paperwork, essentially, right? So we're refiling it." Most people would say, "Oh, we lost." We didn't lose. We're going to refile it. And everything is going to work out.
Look at this draft dodger who faked his bone spur podiatry note 5 times to avoid the draft when your grandfathers or your uncles went off to die. 58,000 men died in Vietnam. This guy snaked out of it 5 times with his dad's podiatry note. This is the man we have as a president right now, a man who literally draft dodged 5 times. And he acts like he's Mr. Tough Guy. He hasn't done anything with our military. He hasn't saved anyone. We didn't see any changes in North Korea, no advances at all. In fact, we're going in retrograde now. He embraced world leaders like Duterte, who mass murdered 6,500 people who were drug marijuana suppliers. Oh yeah. He acted like Kim Jong-un was his best friend, and he embraces dictatorships around the world. This is the guy you want for president? No, I don't think so. That's why he's down in the polls to a man who's demented and perverted.
For the young people, most of whom aren't so young anymore, by the way. But we're going to work it out for everybody. Biden is fully controlled by the fringe of his party. He is their pawn. He doesn't even know where the hell he is, let's face it.
You're controlled by the Russian oligarchs who financed your existence. You do whatever the New World Order and George Soros tells you to do. You're a bigger puppet than Biden in that respect. You know, let's just make it what it is. This entire event is being manipulated by George Soros. Donald Trump isn't really speaking. He's just one of the puppets.
our country will have nothing. Oklahoma, Texas, North Dakota, and many others will all be out of business. I don't think that's going to work out too well, but she's actually in charge of environmental policy, and you know what that means. She doesn't even want wind. She doesn't want those bird-killing machines that go round and round. You want to see a lot of birds that are dead? Go under a windmill sometime. She wants us to go back to the Stone Ages because she's got no sense, no credentials. She's got a little charisma, not much, but she doesn't have a clue. You know it. But she's in charge of the environment. No airplanes. We can forget Boeing, I guess, come to think of it, right? We talked about Boeing. We can forget Boeing. Let's cancel those brand new Air Force Ones, right? Likewise, Representative Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar is going to be very much involved in a Biden government. They will put this hate-filled, America-bashing socialist front and center in deciding the fate of your family.
You know, Donald Trump had excellent information. We found out that Ilhan Omar was getting money from Qatar. We also know that Ilhan Omar lied about her brother's immigration status when she married her homosexual brother. We know that Ilhan Omar could have been kicked out of the country by now, but Trump hasn't done anything to stop her. He's just using her as a prop in this discussion against Muslims.
And now she's telling us how to run our country. No, thank you. And I think we're going to have a big victory in the state of Minnesota.
He has not in any way helped Minnesota at all. In fact, what he could have done is gotten an order brought into Minneapolis, but he didn't bring the National Guard in. Trump has not done anything with Omar. He hasn't prosecuted her. We know for a fact that she got funds from Qatar to get elected. We know that's a completely illegal thing. He could have easily moved on that. Trump hasn't prosecuted anyone. Ask yourself, who has Trump prosecuted that's in the deep state? Name one person. And I would like to say Andrew McCabe, but he's back. He got his retirement back reinstated. He's back to normal now. Yeah. He hasn't been effective at doing anything. William Barr has given him a pass, made it seem like he didn't do anything with the Russians, when in fact there's 448 pages, 7% of which shows direct results from Russia dominating our election.
They've had. Biden is a very willing Trojan horse for socialism. When Biden first ran for president over 33 years ago, remember I used to call him 1% Joe. He never got more than 1%. Until Obama took him off the trash heap. But he blatantly copied the speech of a British politician, even ripping off the man's personal biography and family history and claiming it was his own. He forgot.
And you lied incessantly. You said you'd show your tax returns, and you said, oh, gladly show you 10 years of tax returns. What are you hiding, Donald? What are you hiding? Did Donald Trump get money from George Soros he doesn't want to know about? We would find in the tax returns the $160 million loan that he made to that George Soros gave Donald Trump. But oh no, we can't even read the tax returns. He's lying now, claiming that Biden's the big liar. Yeah, Biden is a liar. But this is a liar calling another liar out.
Hardworking Americans who he's never met, and he frankly probably doesn't want to meet. America should not take lectures on racial justice from Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe. A man who praised and partnered with segregationists, shipped millions of black American jobs overseas, and everyone else's jobs too, by the way. If I didn't come along, we're building auto plants, we're building everything. And there's never been a comeback like we're making right now. Never been. He hollowed out our middle class, including our black middle class, with open borders, trapped young children in failing government schools, built cages. Those cages were built by Obama and Biden. Look it up, 2014. And the fake news doesn't want to remember the picture of a cage for children. Remember the picture of the cage? And they said, President Trump. And then they realized that was in a newspaper 20. I will tell you.
You see when he does this thing with his mouth?
Racial justice begins with Joe Biden's retirement. Jim Inhofe. He's running on November 3rd. I don't even know. Hey, James, does he have any competition? Is somebody actually running against? There's no competition that he's got. I know he's got James's support. He's got my support. I give him 100% endorsement. Jim Inhofe.
You know, we really don't have a lot of time to talk about nonsense, and that's what Donald Trump does. You know, Oklahoma about a year ago, saw the tragic death of a man who is named Jonathan Nichols. He was found dead inside his house just on the day after another former GOP Senator, Linda Collins Smith, also was shot dead in her Arkansas home. And when you look into the story of this man, who was a very solid senator, state senator in Oklahoma, Jonathan Nichols was found dead with a gunshot wound at his home about a year ago. The 53-year-old GOP politician was a star, one of the greatest minds in Oklahoma, was terminated, murdered, and the police won't even investigate it. And you know why he was murdered? He was murdered because they found a gun sitting on a table across from him they claimed he used against himself. Now, I don't know how anybody could blow their head off and then set the gun down across the way on a table. That alone is a glaring example of a murder. Yeah. But they won't even investigate what happened to Jonathan Nichols. The GOP doesn't want to know because he was one of the most honest of the Republicans. And he, along with this other woman that was investigating these crimes of child pedophilia, he and another woman, this woman right here, were both offed within 2 days of each other, terminated. Do you hear Donald Trump mentioning their loss or anything, or lack of investigation? No. He's ignoring the most obvious case of murder in the history of Oklahoma and in Arkansas history. You know what happened to this woman? It's even weirder. They pegged her death on her best friend. They claimed that her best friend killed her. And her best friend is still in jail, waiting trial in December, and has all kinds of hearsay evidence brought against her by local people in the prison she's with. They're paying people to frame her friend that claiming that her friend killed her. No. Both of these murders that happened a year ago should have been openly investigated by the FBI instead of close the book on them. These people were exposing CPS, Child Protective Services. She claimed that she was working to stop the CPS with the Department of Homeland Security. But there's no evidence that this even happened. It's like they got rid of her when they found out that she reached out to DHS for the support that she needed to stop pedophilia and the CPS network. Now, Child Protective Services should be protecting children. But every year, 1,000 kids die from torture in the CPS care. And these two people were both investigating CPS, and they were both killed a year ago. I'm sorry, but we are seeing what appears to be murder of people that are trying to save our nation. And you've got a babbling idiot talking to you about walking down a ramp too fast. This is almost a parody of itself. If I have to listen to Donald Trump talk incessantly about nothing for the next half hour, which is exactly what he'll talk about, I don't know where we'd go with this show. But I'll give you a little bit more for those of you who want to hear him talk.
Actually, in the history of the world, and they never even challenged me, so I guess I'm right. We did it. We had the best numbers anybody's ever had. We had the best employment numbers. African American, Hispanic American, Asian American. The best employment numbers in history. The best stock market numbers in history. We were the envy of the world. Everybody would come in to see me presidents, prime minister, kings, queens, and dictators. Dictators would even come in and say, congratulations on the economy. And then the plague came in, and now what we're doing is we're doing it again, and it's going fast. We have to have a lot of it done because people don't quite get it. We're doing record business. It's happening at a level and a speed that nobody can believe. 2 weeks ago, job numbers came in. The single biggest number in the history of our country. Last week.
He's bragging about the job numbers right now. We've got 33 million people who just declared unemployment. This guy's a buffoon, and he's talking to retarded people.
Of our country. So here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen.
Look at this empty auditorium. Look at this. He can't even draw a full crowd, folks. Look at the upper tiers in this auditorium. Yeah, he can't even draw a full crowd. This president is so much history, it's ridiculous. He probably paid everybody in the audience with free tickets to the WWE. Discounts for wrestling.
Free tickets to his rally and free tickets to WWE.
They all probably got a discount coupon to buy products at Trump Enterprises. I don't know what you're talking about. You've never heard of me. I'm all over the world. People know all about me.
Okay.
No, this is not a full arena. No. You notice how they pull back on the camera when this is the arena, but you'll notice that there's no pictures. Once Trump gets in the room, they close in on it. Look at this. There's no actual pictures of the arena. See how the camera's dropping here? It'll drop even closer once he's in there. There's not a full arena in there.
Federal judges appointed and approved. Next year we're going to have a good third quarter, but next year, and I said it before, will be the single greatest year economically that we've ever had, okay?
If that's true, the next president.
And if you see that happening, if you see it happening on November 3rd, you don't have the guts to vote against Trump. You don't have
the guts to vote against Trump? What kind of a statement? That's almost as bad as Biden saying if you're black and you're not voting for him, then you're not black. They're both out to lunch.
the guts to vote against Trump. Say, wait a minute, darling, my 401. It's the strongest 50 days in the history of the stock market.
Okay. No.
And your wife or your husband says, darling.
Okay, we're going to drop out of the Trump nightmare. We don't want
you go watch it on your own.
Yeah, we don't want you Trump supporters in here. We're building a third party, and we certainly don't want people to come in here and brag about what a great president Trump is, because he's been such a bad president. He's dividing the country. You can see it's falling apart because of him. And if you stand there and think that we've got a great unemployment problem, he created 33 million new unemployment draws on our system. When he said, oh, I shut it down. They told me to shut it down, so I shut it down. The greatest economy in the world, I shut it down. Why would he shut down the greatest economy in the world? Why? When Sweden kept their economy going through COVID, and they're still doing great, and they have less cases of COVID than Norway. We are still on Vaughn, but we are opening up other channels because we are finding people can't even get into our chat room at Vaughn. The people that come in here are just trolls. Mark only allows trolls to come into the chat room. Most of the people there are either regulars from a long time ago that don't donate a thing, or trolls. They don't allow anybody new into Vaughn, so we have other channels to go to. But we've had to move out to various avenues in order to reach out because we are being heavily censored. Now, there is no explanation as to why Jonathan Nichols would have a gun sitting on a table apart from where he was found dead. People don't shoot their head off and then leave the gun sitting on a table away from them. No investigation into Jonathan Nichols in Oklahoma. No investigation into the people that are investigating CPS, and the same people who are investigating CPS are coming up with all kinds of evidence against Donald Trump. We're seeing major issues like Donald Trump's affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump's senior campaign advisor is Boris Epstein, the cousin of Jeffrey Epstein. So there's been an ongoing cover-up by Trump regarding Jeffrey Epstein, and to this day, we're seeing a lot of naming and blaming by Trump against the Democrats. The Democrats and Republicans have a lot to answer to about Jeffrey Epstein. Hundreds of people are on the list of people that went to Orgy Island. And that's not something I want to brag about or talk about. It's something that has to be talked about. And Trump isn't doing it. He's never done anything to stop the deep state. He's never done anything to stop Hillary. He's never done anything to stop Joe and his misdeeds. He just talks a lot. All right. Here's Sarah to give me a break.
Yeah, thank you, David. I don't believe that bangalitis. I would believe it if it was a Democrat rally, but a Trump rally, I don't believe that they were all pre-screened and quarantined 2 weeks before they were allowed to attend. That's pretty funny. Well, maybe I could see that happening, but no. I think we'll see if there are spikes in cases. There probably will be spikes in cases in about 3 weeks from people that attended. Oh wait, I kind of see a face mask. Let me see. See this? There's this African American gentleman who looks like he's wearing something over his beard.
Darling, I love you so much. You are such a great investor. It's very popular, but some people it's like a disaster.
Well, it's not around
because
his
when it
mouth,
comes
it's
to
around his, I don't know.
unions, that have a lot of power over the devil.
You would bet Whidbey Island is 80% Republican? 50-50. Because the north end of our island is pretty Republican, but the south end of our island is very liberal. And we are in the middle of our islands, which maybe that's why we're centrist. Yes, we're out of, well, we're still casting over there on Vaughn, but I'm glad we're here too to see you, Foster and Cranky Boomer. You guys think Vaughn has technical issues? True. All right. I was looking at wealthsimple.com. That looks pretty interesting. Get rich slow. Powerful financial tools to help you grow and manage your money. That is pretty interesting. Most innovative companies for a fast company. I had not heard of them. Wealthsimple. Military retirement is 2.5% per year served. Oh, thank you, Abe Lincoln. I wasn't sure. Which party is a third party? Well, America's third party is a third party, and David Sponheim is running for office for president. Can we get a reaction to Joe video that's going all around? I don't like Joe and I don't like Trump, so that's why I'm going to vote for David Sponheim for president. Oh, actually, and Trump was pictured with Epstein. David Sponheim, he is a presidential candidate, and you'll meet him in just a few minutes if you hang out here with me. Okay, thanks for sharing, 368. I'm also 0, Nolan. Ooh. I'm also broadcasting on Vaughn Live and iVlog and Periscope and DLive as well. So I'm glad you guys are over at Twitch watching. If you could save $800 a month for 30 years in an IRA, you will have $1 million in 40 years. Or is that $8 a month? But there are ways to save money for retirement. A Roth IRA is very good because the thing about a Roth IRA is that it accrues with your interest is tax free because you pay on what you put in. You already pay your taxes before you put it in, whereas a traditional IRA, it lowers your tax rate. No, David won't be on a debate stage as far as I know. No, it's going to be America's Third Party. Thanks, Nolan. You can find out more at americasthirdparty.com. It's a centrist political party right in the middle of the political spectrum. We are socially liberal, which means we do believe the government should care for the American people, but we are also fiscally conservative, which means we don't believe that we should be spending a lot of money. The government should be spending a lot of money. Yes, there are ways to save for a retirement besides a pension, and you should be looking into those ways to save for a retirement rather than be reliant on a pension, especially because I hear pensions may still be possible through government employment, but not, they're really being cut for a private sector. Oh, thank you, Abe. The point is that America's Third Party is in the center. That's pretty cool. How to save $1 million in less than 40 years with a Roth. I'll need to do that within 20 years instead of 40 years. Because I had a late start. Really, when they talk about 40 years, they're starting about, you thinking you're starting to get working at age 20. Can you retire if you make $24,000 a year and spend $10,000 on just those things? What do you think? Do the math. Do you spend, and you say $24,000 a year? Well, how much do you spend in credit card? Do you have any credit card debt? Yes, Nolan, he did. Yes, Ben, he did. Do I condone that behavior? No, I don't. He would say that he was simply imitating the president and could not do so in whiteface. Wow. You're a professional impersonator. You're some kind of impersonator, and you impersonate Obama and whiteface. Yep, the earlier you start saving, the better. No, he's not an actor. David is not an actor. I don't, people have a past and have a history. They make their choices. The IRA, yeah, the Roth IRA information is very interesting. I guess it is, yeah, it is. Now you can save $500 a month in retirement in your IRA. And then if you have an IRA, that doesn't preclude you. You can also invest in a 401k or other retirement accounts depending on your job. Teachers have a lot of retirement options available to them, but teachers don't always maximize all those retirement options. Yes, KJ, this is live. How do you retire if you spend $10,000 a month and you make $24,000 a year? Well, there's more than just one. Stop spending $10,000 a month. Start saving. How much money do you have in savings? Because you have to start with, 1, making sure you don't have any credit card debt. 2, having an emergency savings plan. 3, making sure you have a life insurance policy. Maybe your crack addiction is crippling. Maybe you should spend $10,000 on a rehab treatment center. Roth IRAs are not a scam. You can put money into a Roth IRA and just let it sit there and not invest it at all. So no, a Roth IRA is not a scam at all. A Roth IRA, like for instance, you can open a Roth IRA at an investing firm where you can do the investing. I was just looking at wealthsimple.com, and there's also tdameritrade.com, or what's the other one that bought out TD Ameritrade? But you can it's a type of account, just like a checking account or a savings account. A Roth IRA is a different type of account. And the thing about a Roth IRA is it's a savings account that you don't want to touch until you retire. And the cool thing about it is that if you do earn interest on it, then your interest accumulates tax-free because you've already paid the taxes on it. Now, there's a different type of IRA. An IRA stands for individual retirement account, called a traditional IRA. And that is if you're in a tax bracket where you're paying a lot of taxes and you want to lower the amount of taxes you have to pay now, and you would just pay them later when you retire. That's called a traditional IRA. And that helps lower your current income tax, but then it may increase. You will have to, any interest you earn, you're going to have to pay taxes on it, and you'll have to pay taxes on the principal when you get it out. Not that I'm aware of, Ben. Bangalitis says, Abe, you need money to make money. I don't necessarily know if I agree with you, Bangalitis. You need, usually people, and often people trade services for money. So you need to be able to perform some kind of service to make money. That's another way to make money. Crack addiction was I was referring to someone in Twitch was talking about their crack addiction. That's the whole point. You need to get off of crack. But if you haven't reached bottom, then maybe you'll just continue to do crack. I agree with you, P.T. Barnum. Okay. Ivanka Nolan, but of course I say that because I'm a woman. Ben divorced his wife for his addiction. Wow. You made your choice. You're a happy man. Well, I'm glad you're happy. Will you be able to retire? No, I don't know. I don't know your financial situation. If you continue to spend recklessly, probably not. Nola says, 97% of all police homicides are murders of men. 97%? Wow. Obviously, there's inherent and systemic sexism in this country and policing. Yeah, you have a good point. Male lives matter too. We should take to the streets. You have a point, Nolan. Do you think it's because women have been socialized to be submissive? And usually the police homicides happen when people resist arrest. You're $20 million in the red in debt? Then no, you won't be able to retire. I do wonder, though, if women... You think men are more profiled than women? I agree with that. People think how... I'm not going to say that women commit less crimes, but I will say I think that people think women commit less crimes. Like, there are times when, like thieving mobs will send in a woman because people don't suspect the woman of being a thief and being a con artist. So I do agree that there is some, profiling, where they don't, they don't profile women as the criminals a lot of the time. Abe Lincoln says 42% of Americans are at risk of retiring broke. And when you say retiring broke, they're going to be the ones that are like, I need to find another job. I need to find another job. And people are like, I don't want to hire you. You're too old. In some cases, yes, Nolan. And in other cases, there's institutional sexism against women. In some cases, there's institutional sexism against men. In some cases, there's institutional racism against people of color.
Yeah, institutional. When does it end, though? When does the institutional racism end? When is enough enough?
Abe Lincoln says the best spies and snipers in World War II were women. Wow, I did not know that.
Can you prove that?
Look up Russian female snipers.
The best spies and snipers were Russian women.
Russian female spies.
The women were more dangerous, right? Like Maria
Yeah.
Butina. She was sent in to help Donald Trump.
This is David Sponheim, the gentleman I was telling you about.
How you doing? 4 people? Wow, that's a rarity over at Politics and Cool Rock Party.
Yes, and yes. So I'm going to leave you with David Sponheim so you guys can get political.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go have my dinner.
Yeah, you can. There's clam chowder. There's chicken. You have to warm those up. There's some hot vegetables for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. Enjoy it. Help yourself. Yeah, this is great to have a show and an assistant like Sarah, and I'm very thankful to have all this because we rarely get a chance to talk about the lies and deception going on in our country, and that's what makes our show so unique. You don't have to look at the show any other way than it's just a slice of life in America right now. Average people are getting very, very upset at the way their life has changed. And I can tell you, the 2 choices we have right now are not good. We know that. Intrinsically, we know that. We've got people who are perverted, demented, liars. Donald Trump is the biggest liar in America, but Biden is a close second. Let's not kid ourselves. And because I didn't get any support whatsoever in 2008 when I started running, I realized that I was being censored. And the fact that the media has kept me out of the loop and kept a third party out of the loop forced me to do a blackface video of Barack Obama impersonating him, which helped me immensely. And not only do I stand by that, I stand by free speech. It's what we're predicated on. So when I started this in 2008, I had to do this.
Hi, good morning. As you can see, I'm still wearing the shirt I wore last night and yesterday at Blog TV.
Now I had done a lot of prep, and we put our brochures everywhere. We sent out mailers. We did 2 conventions. Now I had not done blackface up to this time. And it was 510 hours into the show that I realized 50 days prior to 2008 that I had to do something extraordinary. And doing an impersonation video of a black president should not be illegal. Nor is it racist to satirize a president that was not good and to this day is almost pathetic in the way he is babbling. So we have to look deeper here and realize that a blackface impersonation is actually guaranteed by our First Amendment to be perfectly legal. And that's the part that people just don't understand, especially the Democrats who fought against the Civil Rights Act. The Democrats didn't want to pass the Civil Rights Act. The Republicans were the ones that passed the Civil Rights Act. It's ironic. Freedom of expression is completely, thank you, Nolan. Freedom of expression is completely guaranteed under the law. And this is something that is now under attack by Donald Trump and others who want to call everything fake news. I virtually can't talk about something without somebody saying, oh, that's fake news, or that's a conspiracy theory. And this is all because of Donald Trump, acting like those are bad things when he's the one who's pushed conspiracy theories of his own, that Ukraine somehow rigged the election in favor of him. No, hardly. In fact, Russia did. And we have over 448 pages to prove it. But Bill Barr acted like nothing happened, and he exonerated Donald Trump illegally. Bill Barr is working for Russian oligarchs as well, and I can prove it. I can prove that Bill Barr has connections to the Mossad. I can prove that too. But if you want to really, really fix this country, you're going to have to unite. The people of this nation have got to unite. We're not going to be able to do it with a divisive president like Donald Trump or Joe Biden. We've got to come together. Now we have this room set up for you to look at the puppet Trump. You can analyze who controls him. The man behind the puppet Trump, the man pulling his strings, is George Soros. And many of you Republicans are going, what? I don't believe you. Oh yeah. Donald Trump got a $160 million loan from George Soros. Yeah. And he hasn't repaid it. He still owes him. So many people don't realize that Donald Trump is protecting the one man who's trying to destroy our nation and create anarchy in the streets of this great nation. George Soros is behind Hamas, and Hamas is behind Black Lives Matter and Antifa. George Soros is behind Antifa too. Okay, we got a Texas robbery going on. Let's see what happens. We're going to take a look at this.
What's up, guys? John QAnon, and this is QAnon Nation.
Okay, let's take a look at this man who revealed that Hamas is actually funding Black Lives Matter. Let's go from there.
From the horse's mouth. I'll show you this video real quick.
That you are powerful. You can make a whole difference in 2016. You can change the reality of our time. This is the time for us as American Muslims to be in the front, not to retreat, because all of you are leaders. Your votes
What is that?
are your negotiating
Look at those
power
arches.
in the year 2016.
What does that look like?
Turn your centers, Islamic centers, mosques, into registration centers for voters. Black Lives Matter is our matter.
What?
Black Lives Matter is our campaign.
What?
Basically, you are the new black people of America. If we don't stand, you will see Muslims murdered in the streets. We are the community that staged a revolution across the world. If we could do that, why can't we have that revolution in America?
Are you kidding me? Black Lives Matter?
Unbelievable.
Is a part of the Muslim Brotherhood. Oh, now we got a problem.
All right, guys, so that's John Tuna, I believe. That was his name. Good job catching that on the screen. 2016, they were bragging overseas, the Muslims were, about how they were funding Black Lives Matter. So we discovered that the Democratic Party has been, hang on, I'm coming back. the Democratic Party has been making all kinds of, getting all kinds of donations from foreigners, including Soros. As he funnels money into Black Lives Matter, he's also dripping money into the Democratic Party, and they've been using that for candidates like Pete Buttigieg or Joe Biden. Joe Biden's got money indirectly through Black Lives Matter. These are conduits that are funneled into the Democratic Party, but it's all coming from George Soros and his cronies and many revolutionaries who are trying to overthrow our country. Now, this man who Donald Trump will not call out at all, this man is single-handedly committing treason against our nation on a daily basis and funding these riots. He has controlling interest in the Acme Brick Company, along with Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. And Bill Gates needs to be investigated as well. So, yeah, you've been blackballing Sponheim from Illuminati meetings for years. Nolan, thank you for coming out and sharing your views, but you can't come into our show and be that kind of a person. I'm sorry, Nolan, you've been permabanned from the show. Goodbye. Now, we have people who have been trying to stop us for years and been, they think it's funny to come in and talk about what they're doing behind my back. They're all committing felonies. Every one of them is going to be going to jail for what they've been doing. We've got a record. That's right. So Nolan has been recorded and banned from the show. Thanks, Nolan, for actually telling the truth about what you do. Yeah, we keep track of all these records, and your chat and your VPN is being recorded by the government. That's right. I'm going to unblock you so you can come in and tell me what else you want to incriminate yourself with. Go ahead. Tell me what you're... No, feel free to come in. I have to censor people who are threatening me all the time. What are you, impossible to understand you? How is that hypocrisy? Hardly. I have a feeling I got a couple of trolls right now over here. You're not going to be able to hang in our show, Ben. Yeah, I'm reporting you. And I'm going to report you. Yeah, I'll report both of you right now. You just created an account 2 hours ago, Ben. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we got people in here who are trolling us right now on our new network. Okay. Okay, we got one down and another one to go. Okay, Nolan, you're psychotic. I'm going to leave you in. But we pulled the other guy out. Okay. I do. I would use a Secret Service detail, but they will never contact me. They will never even return my call to the FBI. Robert Downey Jr. and Jimmy Kimmel and all these people who are being harassed for doing a blackface video, they're apparently unable to read the Constitution. First Amendment rights guarantee their right to do that. And nor is it a denigration of black people to impersonate somebody. Well, I hope you do get to know me better. Yeah. But Nolan, I don't know about you. All right, I just reported you anyway, Nolan. Same with you, Ben. Yeah, so everything that you're doing right now is really trying to interrupt the flow of the show about the issues. So if you want to talk about the issues, that'd be great. But if you attack me for blackface again, you're going to see the same response. I have every right to impersonate a bad president, especially a black one, who simply used his blackness to get elected. Yeah, I mean, I would have rather had an inner city man who grew up in America, not some man who grew up in a prep school with the richest dad in America, in the world. Lolo Soetoro, his father, Barry Soetoro's father, was the 15th richest man in the world and was known for torturing Indonesians. That's right, Lolo Soetoro. He was also very, very rich. Barack Obama is hiding his wealth. They claim Barack Obama has $70 million in net worth. Far from that, it's a lot higher. He inherited most of what Lolo Soetoro had. There's a lot of deception going on, and I'm going to start bringing it out for you right now, one by one. We are here to protect our First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and report you too. Soliciting censors will be your report. All right. And we'll mute you. All right. Thank you. Oh, I am stopping you on a daily basis. But you get support from Capital Gain, I can see that. Okay, I was going to show you more about how Black Lives Matter is getting funding from Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood. But I'd rather just talk about, the simple fact that we're not getting any answers from the two-party system. We're simply ignored by our leaders. None of you could call your representative and get through. None of you are able to actually complain about anything around you. Most of you are living in a world that's dominated by this. Cash. Lots of it. This is the very currency that buys you, that controls you, that turns your life upside down with not enough of it, or with too much of it, turns you into a very disturbed person, and oftentimes you don't even get love from people because you're so evil. Don't ever come in here with your holo-hoax crap. I do not believe the holo-hoax. I believe the Holocaust happened. And there's a reason why the Holocaust happened. They wanted to create a state of Israel, so they needed to kill up to 6 million Jewish people. Now, who are they? They're the people with all the money. If I were to fight with Biden, he'd fall over. I outweigh the guy by about 60 or 70 pounds. Yeah, he would just fall right over. Plus, he would probably forget who I was and why he was fighting after about 3 or 4 punches. But I'm not a violent man. I'm actually nonviolent. I've dedicated my life to nonviolence, so we don't really talk much about violence here. This show is dedicated to sustainability, and we can't have a sustainable country as long as this man is allowed to commit treason, and Donald Trump is protecting him. Now, if the two-party system is working for you, and you get some airbag who thinks he can have a rally and talk for hours and hours about nothing, about going down a ramp too fast, you yourself have to ask yourself, is he solving your personal problems? Is he getting you back on your feet? Is he saying, okay, we can all get back to normal now, our economy is normal? No, he hasn't. I can tell you that Donald Trump can't say those words, let's get back to normal now. Because this guy, he makes a lot of effort to break up our country, funding Black Lives Matter and Antifa. And he's a friend of Donald Trump's. So Donald Trump doesn't want our country to get back to normal. You see, the new normal is anarchy in our cities, according to the leaders that we have. The two-party system was hijacked a long time ago by people who are very powerful with lots of money. Well, we have one opportunity right now to stop them. And you either do it now or watch your fate being sucked into a vortex of depopulation plans, FEMA camps, forced inoculations, forced injections. That's what's coming. Take a look at this video that explains what's happening under the two-party system, that you're sitting there mindlessly saying, oh yeah, I believe in the two-party system. They're going to force vaccinate you and cause you to get cancer. They're going to track you with RFID chips. Their plan is to ultimately get rid of you. CDC is going door to door testing for antibodies. Here we go, folks.
CDC's plan to go door to door in Metro Atlanta to see if people have antibodies for the virus. Some saying they are afraid to let those medical workers inside their homes, and only CBS 46 was there. Our Jamie Kennedy spoke to one of the people who were tested today. Jamie, you're in DeKalb County. That's where some of those crews were.
Sean, the CDC were hitting the pavement tonight here in Candler Park, where the neighbourhood was happy to welcome them in, but many online saying they wouldn't have a bar of it. Homeowners in Fulton and DeKalb counties greeted by CDC officials surveying the community.
We're working with the Georgia Department of Public Health and the DeKalb Department of Public Health to do a seroprevalence survey around the community in DeKalb County to determine the community transmission for coronavirus.
Officials randomly selecting houses and drawing blood for antibodies and conducting a question.
Randomly selecting people who are not even COVID positive, who are not even symptomatic, randomly sticking Q-tips 6 inches up their nose. Yeah, that's the kind of future you want, huh?
To better understand the deadly virus's spread. Jordan Bear was one of the first to be tested.
Normally wouldn't have opened the door, but I looked outside and saw some folks in some PPE gear. One of them had a clipboard with CDC visible on it.
If you had not read online what they were here for, do you think you would have opened the door?
Probably not.
Many online have criticised the survey, saying people are meant to be sheltering in place and limiting contact with others, not going door to door.
You know, if they'd said, hey, yeah, you guys are number 7 of 7, I'm going to be a lot more reluctant to have them anywhere near me. But because we were number 1 and they were in full gear, I felt okay with it.
Alpharetta Police Department posted about the testing, saying there is not a definitive answer as to what a positive or negative antibody test means. Jordan says the family's test experience was great and they were happy to do it.
It wasn't anything intrusive. It wasn't anything that we were uncomfortable sharing.
The CDC showing up and getting information could lead to a cure.
Now, the questionnaire given to the Bears by the CDC, they say, was very thorough, asking them things like, how is their mental health? Have they been hurt financially? And have they been anywhere else besides the supermarket? They hope to get the results in the next couple of weeks. Live in Candler Park, Jamie Kennedy, CBS 46 News.
Over the CDC.
What a crock of crap. First of all, that's a violation of the Nuremberg Code. They cannot go into your house and say that you have to be tested. It's the Nuremberg Code was set up to stop Nazi-like behavior like this. Second of all, there's no scientific proof that COVID testing is even working. And antibodies they're not proof of anything. They're proof that you may be fighting a cold. Why would they look for antibodies when they don't even have a gold standard for a COVID test, which currently the PCR test they use, proteinase chain reaction test, is not even supported by the man who created it for viruses. Okay? And the Q-tip that they stick up your nose is literally 6 inches up your nose. I'm going to give you an example of what we're doing here. Yeah, the more people who do consent, the worse this will be for everybody. If they really want to stick things that far up our nose and force us to be tested, anything can happen. They could stick an RFID chip on that Q-tip. Oh yeah. They could even put the Q-tip together and make it infested with COVID-19 and then stick it in your nose. And I'll tell you, that's not impossible, because the CDC has already admitted having contaminated over 100,000 Q-tip test kits. Yeah. So we're seeing a concerted effort to force things upon people against their Fourth Amendment right to privacy. Willingness to push all kinds of things in our body, like vaccines, which are completely untested in the past 30 years. I think that was a stage actor, guaranteed, don't worry. He didn't look like a real person. Most people would say, I won't do that. Exactly, that was all propaganda, what you just saw, and I kind of feel bad I even played it. But whatever. At least we saw it. We can deal with it as we see fit. But there's been so many lies from the CDC over the past many years that they've had over 300 encounters where the leaking bioweapons came out of their facilities. 300 encounters in 10 years. That's not an organization you could trust when they come to your door. The CDC is actually a vaccine company. They're making money, and so is Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx. They're actually cashing in on the virus thing. That's why they want to keep promoting this idea that it's spreading when it's no worse than a standard flu. The CDC claims it can indefinitely detain healthy people without appeal. Yeah. They could virtually stick a microchip in your body with the Q-tip.
The Centers for Disease Control is claiming the authority to indefinitely apprehend and detain healthy people, en masse, without appeal. And they've done so in this posting to the Federal Register. They posted this in mid-August. We have a link at the end of our blog site to this. And first, let me give you a quick summary for the video of what's going on here. Basically, as we said, the CDC is claiming the authority to indefinitely detain you, even if you're healthy, without appeal. And they do this very sneakily, by the way they've set things up. They can say, generally we only detain you for a short period of time, but we can apprehend and detain you indefinitely. But then once we've made a decision on whether or not to put you in isolation or quarantine or conditional release, well, then we'll give you 72 hours to ask us to change our mind. And at that point, we can still detain you indefinitely. And it's not just for individuals. They can do this for whole cities, and they want you to comment about this. There's also mention of forced vaccinations, basically trying to get you to agree to do a bunch of stuff in writing.
It's just ridiculous. And these protocols are in violation of the Nuremberg Code. You know that Dr. Fauci gave the actual laboratory they claimed that the virus spread from, the Wuhan laboratory? He gave them $3.7 million when he was working for Barack Obama. Has Donald Trump mentioned that once? No, he hasn't. Not once has he mentioned this. You'd think this would be important, especially in talking about China and the Wuhan lab. But no mention of it whatsoever. So Dr. Fauci has been doing the work for Bill Gates and other CDC-affiliated vaccine makers to push this dangerous coronavirus on the American people. The people that release the bioweapon on humanity are trying to cash in on the vaccine. I'm going to repeat myself so you understand what I'm saying. The people that release this bioweapon on our society are trying to profit from the COVID testing and the vaccine. Heck, Donald Trump has a huge investment in a French company that makes hydroxychloroquine. So he's planning on profiting there, and he and Jared Kushner and his brother Joshua are trying to make money on the COVID testing at Oscar Health. It goes on and on. I mean, I can't even tell you how bad this is. It gets worse and worse, but the number of people that die and are certainly affected by COVID-19 in America, this is the number. And yes, this was from March of 2020, but it's still very relevant today. The number of people is in orange right there. That's how many people are affected. If you want to raise it a 1 or 2 higher, feel free. But it's not the most serious thing causing death in America around the world. The most serious thing is tuberculosis. And then second to that is hepatitis B. And then pneumonia. HIV/AIDS. But this thing is down in the middle here in the orange mark. You can see it right there. It's a very small little orange mark. It's not that big of a deal, yet our country is held hostage. We have to wear masks everywhere we go. Our president shut down our economy over this. And now we've got problems with people who just don't understand that the economy never had to be shut down. He's saying he saved thousands or hundreds of thousands of deaths. Look at the Swedish model, where they kept the economy rolling along and doing fine. They've had less COVID cases than Norway, their neighbor. So what he says is not true. Had our economy been going, we would have been $1 trillion richer. All of us would have been. But no, Donald Trump purposely shut down our economy, and now he's letting people like George Soros initiate planned attacks with the Antifa forces and Black Lives Matter forces. Donald Trump hasn't brought the National Guard in and quelled any violence where he needed to. But he acts like he's going to do that someday. When? When it's too late? So you've got to ask yourself, if we continue with this idea that Trump is pushing, that somehow keeping in our house and hiding like scared little rabbits or wearing a mask like Dr. Fauci says people should do, he won't condemn Dr. Fauci. He won't condemn Dr. Birx. We are following a pathway that will take us into a state of anarchy. The handwriting is on the wall. He won't call out George Soros or Bill Gates. Donald Trump won't say anything bad about Bill Gates. Don't you find that a little weird? Because their agenda is to force COVID test us and keep our cities in complete pandemonium and anarchy. They don't want to bring in the National Guard when we can stop the problem. They want to announce that they're going to bring it in when we can't stop the problem. We've even seen Dr. Fauci picking his nose through the mask. Exactly. So Kodiak Bear says they put a Q-tip in both nostrils at the hospital. Wow. It's amazing. Yeah, there's no difference. My blackface is no different than the Wayans brothers dressing up as white girls. Exactly. You can't tell me I can't do something that's protected by freedom of speech. And this is exactly why I did that blackface video in 2009 and then another one in 2014. And now that all these people are being called out and Howard Stern's apologizing for having free speech, come on. I mean, Howard Stern, of all the people to apologize for having free speech, a man who talks about anal sex on his show every day. It's pathetic. He should have stood up for his rights to be himself and do whatever he wanted to do on his show. Same with Jimmy Kimmel and Fallon. All these people who've done various blackfaces should be standing up for it, not hiding from it. Now, this past week, we've exposed the fakery of the Masonic theater of George Floyd's death. We showed you a medical dummy like the one this man is holding here, and how that medical dummy matches the body of the person laying underneath the car and being hauled in. I've got some serious questions about this George Floyd case that trigger this whole racial conflict in America. Now I'm looking at a picture of George Floyd on a stretcher which does not have any legs. Look at that. His legs taper right off. And he doesn't have any tattoos either. So they picked up a medical dummy off the street and put him in a stretcher, and it was not even EMT officers doing it. It were sheriffs. It was a group of sheriffs that put this medical dummy on the stretcher. So they've got a big, huge scam going across the country where they're pushing for violence. Now today, we'll get to the Rayshard shooting as well. That looks very suspicious, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But today I tweeted a story that I saw on Twitter. I was like shocked. I'm going to play this for you. But this is exactly why I was shocked. Because I was seeing right in front of my eyes a man being brutalized by another man, by an African American man. A white man was being brutalized in a shopping center at a market. This attack was completely unprovoked. Watch this. And I'll tell you what's going on here. That man was cold-cocked in the men's furnishing department at a department store for no reason. The black man then lorded over him and hit him repeatedly in the head, on the back of his head. Look at this. Pounding his face and getting it. And the most important thing you have to realize is he got it on film. His buddy got it. But this entire thing happened unprovoked because somebody told that black guy and his cameraman that they could make some serious money on this thing. Serious money. So all they had to do was go into a department store, cold cock an innocent man shopping in a department store to make some cash. These are provoked incidences that are designed to piss you off. These are provoked incidences that are designed to make you hate black people. And believe me, don't fall for that. Not every person's going to walk up to you and bash your face in who happens to be a different color. It just amazes me that this type of manipulation is continuing to go on in our country without any oversight by our government and no one trying to figure out who's funding it. Well, I know who's funding it. This man right here. He's giving Antifa members, you notice the guy was dressed all in black. He's Antifa. He's giving Black Lives Matter members money to beat people up. And that's not an exaggeration. And put it on camera. This is designed to piss you off. This is designed to make you hate people because you saw a black man beating up an innocent white man for no reason whatsoever. This is all a big plan. Now, if you understand that and can understand that on a high level, you'll get through this. if you fall victim to the hatred that they're pushing, that this man is trying to foment with his seeded money in the hands of Antifa and Black Lives Matter and Hamas, if you're going to sit back and think that Donald Trump has nothing to do with this, just ask yourself, why is Donald Trump not calling out George Soros every single day and saying he's behind this? Because this guy loaned Donald Trump $160 million. That's why. And Donald Trump is greedy. Now, I don't like bringing up bad stories, but I've got images of a situation where Rayshard Brooks did not have. Rayshard Brooks did not have.
Hey guys, I'm going to show you something really quick here. If you now want to do another video too.
Meanwhile,
it's almost impossible to open things up here. We're going to show you a video here that will show you definitively there were no muzzle shots in the gunshot that allegedly killed Rayshard Brooks. Now, this may be a shocker to you to know that all guns have muzzle shots. There were no muzzle firing, no actual blasts of light. Watch what we're going to show you. It's amazing. So now the epic story comes out that not only was George Floyd faked, but Rayshard Brooks was faked too. They're trying to create a race war in America. They're trying to foment racial hatred. Don't fall for it. Don't hate people because one black guy did that to a white guy.
Again, we ask everyone, continue fighting, keep doing your part, and stand with and support this family because right now they really need you.
I just want to say thank you, and I just hope that everything falls out how it needs to fall out and these officers are charged. I'm really hurt. Father's Day is coming up, and all I can do is just think about what if my husband was still here.
Do you see any tears whatsoever from Rayshard's wife that she lost her husband, who was a career criminal and had been on tape with police acting like they were grooming him for something? We saw that too. I don't see any tears at all.
The biggest question is how do we feel about the charges? And there's a lot of them, a lot of charges.
I think the charges are a bunch of shit. I think this was a dirty, filthy, screwed up hoax. Do you understand? Dirty, filthy, screwed up hoax. And I want to see the muzzle flashes on the gun that was fired at Mr. Brooks. Where are the muzzle flashes, you stupid son of a bitch? There are no muzzle flashes, you stupid son of a bitch. He wasn't murdered. He was fake murdered.
Everyone.
Okay, you saw it for yourself. There were no muzzle flashes. Now, Misanthropy asked, maybe it was the other cop that did that. So he spent a lot of time exhausting his search and pulled up really high definition videotape of the encounter. And we had it all laid out for us right here. I'm not going to show it to you, but except to show you that this encounter was the guy with the gun. And there were no muzzle flashes. We confirmed it. It wasn't the guy in the background that shot Rayshard Brooks allegedly 3 times. It was this guy with a gun in the front, and there were no muzzle flashes. So we have definitive proof that Rayshard Brooks was not killed by a gun. Nor was he killed, for that matter. We never even saw a dead body. But again, this is just a carryover of the 50 false flag attacks that have happened in America over the past 10 years, where they didn't see one single piece of forensic data to verify that people died. And if you want to believe everything you hear in the news, that's your point. You know, go right ahead and believe it, but it's just not backed up by evidence. Right, General Chao is the Chinese equivalent of Colonel Sanders. You know, I don't even know if any Chinese buffets will make it back. A lot of the companies are really suffering right now because people are afraid to eat at a buffet because of COVID, and for good reason. I mean, I believe there's a real threat of COVID. I do, but I don't believe it's as bad as they claim it is. I believe that it's as bad of a spread of a flu as any flu virus. Its symptomology happens to be very, very similar to what happens when you get radiation burns. Yeah. But that's another weird thing that we're concerned about. Why is Donald Trump supporting $1 trillion for the 5G network when they don't even have any safety testing done on it at all in America? The safety testing done on the 5G network in Russia showed it was very hurtful. It can kill animals. The safety testing that's been done across the globe by top epidemiologists say that this is bad news. We don't want to put more energy in the airways. It could cause radiation burns like difficulty breathing, sense that you can't get oxygen, a rash, permanent damage to your lungs. Doesn't that sound like COVID-19? Well, it's the exact same symptomology. So, I mean, we're just saying, scientifically speaking, which is it? Which thing are you suffering from? So if you are suffering from COVID-19 symptoms, I would urge you to go online and get a couple products. One is tonic water. Go to your local liquor store and get some tonic water, which is very similar to hydroxychloroquine, and it's a cousin to hydroxychloroquine. The way the tonic water helps you is it helps open your cells up to vitamins that help restore your cell strength. Coupled with zinc, vitamin C, D3, vitamin D, very important, as well as taking maybe some ginger and garlic as a supplement, and drink plenty of pure water. Tonic water is okay. Don't drink too much tonic water, but definitely drink some tonic water. So these are remedies that are proven to have been effective countless times. Do you hear Donald Trump talking about this? Do you hear Dr. Fauci or Dr. Birx telling you about building up your personal individual immunity? They've never mentioned it once. But you know what Dr. Birx and Dr. Fauci have done? They've actually put together an order, a federal order, for all nursing homes to take in COVID positive patients. Not could, but should. And that is a crime. That is called murder. When Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx purposely put COVID-19 positive patients in nursing homes, it's killed 40 to 50,000 people in the past 3 months. And that's murder. And there's no way they can get out from under it because it's written in law. They actually published a CDC paper ordering people to do that. There's no logical reason why they would put COVID positive people with the most vulnerable old people in nursing homes. No logical reason at all, except to kill people. Now, are you going to sit there and just accept that Donald Trump is doing a good job for America when he clearly has left us in a state of shambles when he told us to, well, I shut down the economy. I had to shut it down. They told me to shut it down. Who told you to shut it down? And prove to me that the Imperial College Medicine in New York, in London, had anything positive to do with this, because they actually came up with the wrong information, and Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx followed the Imperial College method of analyzing the problem. And the guy that even developed it resigned, and he apologized because he said, I was totally wrong. He said we would never see the numbers that he thought we would see. So our entire country's been shut down for no reason because of some person lying at the Imperial College in London. So if you were in Atlanta last week or a couple days ago, you were attacked going to another Wendy's. Black Lives Matter people literally attacked everybody going to the Wendy's store. We played that in our pre-show. These psychos who own the world, folks, we've given them free rein. We never pulled their power away. We never stopped the treasonous behavior of George Soros when he paid for rioters to join the Ferguson group, when he paid for rioters to join the Baltimore group. We never ever stopped this guy. He's gotten away with it, and Soros is getting cover from Donald Trump completely. He won't even talk about him. In fact, Trump is on record saying, don't say bad things about him. He's not the problem. He is the problem. He's bet $600 million of his money on a hedge fund that our economy was going to collapse. And I'm positive he's behind this, 100%. You help some young people. How could you do that? You're a computer. What are you talking about? Oh, no. We've seen this. This is all part of the Antifa paid protest. We saw that stuff weeks ago. And we all know that. These people are trying to create anarchy in America, and Trump is allowing it. That's what's going down. And if you continue to think that it's perfectly okay.
It's exhilarating to do Blog TV. We've been having an incredible time.
I've been doing this since 2008, and I can tell you that they are not able to stop me. And it's very frustrating for them because they put all their money into Mark, who made tons of money trying to stop me, and they can't even do it. The reality is my efforts at free speech 12 years ago has grown an audience that keeps tapping on these chat rooms trying to get in. And you people know you want to get into the chat rooms. I know you do. But our chat rooms are locked out to most people internationally because of the nature of the censorship that's happening. When somebody knows that we opened up a new chat room, that chat room is DDoSed. The servers that run those chat rooms are DDoSed by professional hackers. That's why you can't get in. That's why you always have to refresh to get in here. This has been the pattern for 10 years now. Ever since Mark started getting money, and we know that Mark got a lot of money simply by his own admission. Then he bragged about it, and now he says that was a big joke. Sorry, you bragged about the money you made early on. We know that. You're not joking. It is real. I'll be back. Thank you.
Okay. I'm here. Nice to see you, Kodiak Bear, if you're still here. And then, now 210, I'm going to clear the chat. I don't think that's appropriate language to say you're going to hurt someone. That's not good. Thanks, Kodiak Bear. Nice to see you. All right. Did you had a COVID test then? Hopefully you were negative. Canadian corporate taxes. Burger King used to have an American company until the 2010s, and then they found out that Canadian corporate tax is less than the US, so they had to buy a Canadian corporation. They bought Tim Hortons. Once they had a controlling share of Tim Hortons, they moved to Canada to save millions of dollars in corporate taxes. So now they are a Canadian company. Thank you. Abe Lincoln 69, you are no one wants to go hurt your town, 210. Hello, how dare you? Yeah. Abe Lincoln 69, I've learned a lot of information from you, so I appreciate that. Eco Gunes. Thank you. Can I clear the chat again then, 210? Because I really don't. I'm not going to kick you or ban you, but I'm just going to clear the chat. Thank you. I guess I want to inspire more calm discussion. Good night, Fishwear. Good. So it is the summer solstice. At least I got to spend a little time in my hammock today. I was going to do some more time in my hammock, but it started to rain outside, and so I was like, no. But I have my I have my straps on my trees so that I can clip my hammock into it and enjoy that at any time during the summer. I like to listen to audiobooks. Right now I am, hello Bob, 23 from the UK. Right now I'm listening to an audiobook about, it's called Women and Money by Susie Orman. Oh, you live not too far from Stonehenge. Very interesting. No video on iVlog. Thanks, Scissor Fight, for letting me know. Okay, I'm back. Kodiak friend, your friend was in a car accident and had to go to the hospital. They pretty much made him take the COVID test and put the swab in both nostrils. Oh, your poor friend. Oh, but I'm sorry he was in a car accident too. Thank you, Scissor Fight. Thanks for letting me know that the stream had stopped. No, I'm not listening to an audio by the band Slayer, but I was listening to an audio book about money management. But I actually have realized that thanks to David does a really good job of managing his money, and I do a good job of managing my money too, and a lot of it is due to the advice I took from David. He's pretty he's very frugal with his money. Hello, beautiful cats, aka DT Allura. Yeah. Did your friend get his COVID results back, Kodiak Bear? Yeah, David is pretty wise. That's why he retired. I don't know. I mean, I guess retirement is about, can you afford to live on the money that you have? For David, I think there's some other questions in there too, but he's not a millionaire, but he just lives within his means. King BK arrives. Okay. Thanks, Bob says we're a great team. And your friend that was in a car accident is in his 80s? Wow. Yeah, he did make good choices, David did. Sarah's 1990s. No, not, well, yeah. That was the goal, John Uncaged, but no, I think it's really hard to, unless you're really rich, to do that. To only live off the interest. No, but I work, so you have to start saving early. I agree with that completely. Earlier you can start saving, the better. All right, putting America's enormous $19.4 trillion economy into perspective by comparing U.S. state GDPs to entire countries, gross domestic products. U.S. states renamed for countries with similar GDPs. So the GDP of the United Kingdom is similar to that of California. Well, this is pretty interesting. I like this. Who was it that gave me this? Is this John Uncaged? It gave me this one. This was really good. I like this. Click to enlarge. There we go. Washington's GDP is similar to Iran. Texas is similar to Canada. Wow, this is very cool. That's very cool. I mean, if people didn't, well, if they didn't know how to read and understand the title, they might not get it, but I totally like it. I get it. Take care, everyone. Keep safe. I agree with that. Yeah, if you can live with your parent, if you can. So I was listening to this woman talk about money management, and the big takeaways are: one, start saving so that you have one, pay off your credit card bills and stop spending so much on credit card bills. So one, stop spending so much. Two, start saving, and she recommends an 8-month savings account. So emergency fund savings account should cover 8 months worth of expenses. Therefore, if you had less expenses for every month, then your 8-month, the savings account she suggests would be smaller. Then she suggests for housing, you shouldn't take out, like, actually she talked about housing, college, and car payments. But with before she talked about that, she talked about life insurance, and that you should have life insurance to make sure that the people you love, your loved ones, will be able, if they are dependent on you, that you're basically will take care of them if something were to happen to you. The single biggest factor for becoming wealthy is buying a house. However, this lady has an interesting take on that, John Uncaged. She says, if you don't have that emergency savings plan, and you don't have at least 10% saved for your down payment on top of that emergency savings plan, I believe, you shouldn't even consider buying a house. And the thing is, when you go to ask for a loan, two things. One, you should get a loan that you can pay off in 15 years, not a 30-year. Because think about, how old will you be in 15 years? And then that way you can pay off your loan before retirement and be mortgage free before retirement. The other thing is, she said a dream house should be an affordable house. And that, like, say you're renting right now, you shouldn't be looking for a mortgage that is equal to your rental payment, because there's a lot of hidden costs in home ownership. Property taxes, insurance, not to mention maintenance. So that's really a lot. At school, I teach second grade, so a lot of reading, a lot of math, science. I had a really great setup because up to last year, I taught second grade for a couple of years, but during those couple of years, a friend, we were both teaching second grade, and she knows I love to teach science, and she's like, science, it can get messy. So she said she would teach my students social studies, and I taught her students science. So we switched just 1 hour a week, and she taught social studies to my students, and I taught her students science. It was very lovely. I enjoyed that. But with the new coronavirus things, we're not going to be able to switch next year. So I'll be teaching social studies as well. you're going to be less condescending. I try not to condescend. The thing about renting, no extra expenses or upkeep on your place. That's up to the landlord. Milrose says he's going to rent until he dies. Yeah, you know, I guess that's not a bad thing. As long as you factor that in with your retirement and have some kind of deal with your landlord that, hey, can you lock my rent in for my life? That's one. If you plan to rent till you die, I would encourage you. And if you're in a good house that you want to rent till you die, I would encourage you to make a legal document with your landlord that says they will keep your kind of rent control so that they can't just like raise the rent on you.
Okay. Thank you very much. You're done. You can take a break now. Thank you.
Thank you. The Gun Guys has a video of proof that America needs a third party. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I can tell you that, you know, the argument that the two-party system was okay for a while and everything stayed the same, we're happy with our lives. I actually bought that same argument when I was young. I actually didn't even think Ralph Nader could do anything when I was still voting Democrat. And then I realized slowly that the two parties were actually destroying our economy and our world. And now it's becoming more obvious that they're taking away our rights. So we really have no other option than a third party.
Oh, right. Student loans.
Oh, no, don't have to write that. Let's just go to this article. Hang on. I got it right here. Yeah, Sarah and I have a lot of things we do, but Sarah can read your statement right there.
During the American Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln issued the...
You can read it loudly.
During the American Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Preliminary Emancipation Proclamation on September 22nd, 1862. It was formally issued on January 1st, 1863. Juneteenth was June 19th, 1865. Wow.
It took 2 years, 2 to 3 years for everyone to realize that the Civil War was over. Thank you very much, Misanthropy.
Of course, you always know better.
No, it's just Juneteenth. I thought it was a few days, but it took 2 to 3 years for everyone in Texas and Oklahoma to realize that the Civil War was over.
You know something I found out about student loans? I'm listening to this book called Women in Money by Susie Orman.
The financial she's good. Susie's really helping
she's
people.
Really good.
Yeah.
She said with like they say, here's a student aid package, and it says for you to afford it, your child qualifies for like this much in grants and this much in loans.
Yeah.
And they don't go through the same, like, do you actually qualify for the loan?
They just tell them they have
They
the
just tell them, would you like this loan?
Yeah.
And therefore, people are getting these huge student loans.
Yeah.
Either their parents or the child has to pay, and nobody can afford it.
Exactly. A lot of people right now are wondering, why did you get a 4-year education if you can't find a job? And a lot of people are still saddled with those $80,000 to $100,000 to $200,000 loans. In the case of doctors, it takes $200,000 to become a doctor.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So this whole reckless loaning thing has been going on. Remember Countrywide and the subprime mortgage? That's what George W. Bush created, the Countrywide phenomenon, where everybody could get a house. Well, they just wanted the down payments, and then they defaulted on the houses, and the companies got the down payments, and you're out of a house. You're out of your down payment and your house, and that's what the scam was about. Now it's about putting people, enslaving them for the rest of their life and milking money out of them every month. And that's the same when you buy a car on payments. You're getting taken to the cleaners over your long-term loan.
Yeah. She suggests having 8 months emergency savings fund and putting that in a separate
That's smart.
savings account. John and Kate was saying that, for that, most people that would be $50,000.
Digital Mall says, I'll never pay the $70,000 back. Not in a lifetime. My last job was at a diner. Exactly. A lot of you people actually we'll have to carry that debt your whole life until we finance it at a national level and absorb a lot of the interest rates so that you won't have to pay interest. Because when you do pay for your loans to pay back,
Yeah, he has $70,000 at
he'll never pay
9%
it.
interest.
You can't pay 9% interest. It's barely.
Yeah, that's $7,000 a year on interest.
That's more than he's making at the diner. So I don't blame you, John. I really don't. Thanks, Sarah. You've been awesome. Great. Thank you. All right. Well, it's amazing we can do the show. It's amazing we can do the show every night, night after night, with little or no interruption, despite the attacks and all of the hate that comes at us every day. But the numbers are getting better. Slowly, we're working our way back up in other rooms. You guys who do like to watch the show are part of that process. It takes a lot to get back into our show. Sometimes you have to refresh your screen many times because there are people trying to knock you out as a chatter. No, I think everyone should go to college if you want to excel in life. I do believe that. You decide not to go to college, you decide not to excel in life. And you instead want to maybe start a company, make an invention. That's going to be a tough road. You may excel in life, but it's not a guarantee, whereas college is almost a guarantee that you're going to excel in life. Now, if you want to go ahead and do something individually to create your own business, become an entrepreneur, it's a long road to get to that success point. You might find it a quicker road if you find something really good to sell. Now, I can tell you that being an entrepreneur there's all kinds of barriers, especially from corporations. So if you're trying to make money in a small business way, you'll see corporations take you out and destroy you. You have that to deal with. So it's not as easy as you think, but say you just want to start mowing lawns. Every day, you just mow lawns, you work hard every day. You'll have a business in a short time. We have a couple people who make a living doing that. And you'll have a business going, but you'll have to pay taxes, you'll have to hire people, you'll have to deal with the pressure. There's all these other factors involved in business too, that just as complicated as going to college. So if you don't want to succeed in life, don't go to college, okay? If you do want to succeed in life, do go to college. It's kind of a simple scenario. Now, the problem with people who are in inner cities, they've been given a lot of college opportunities, especially with affirmative action. No matter where you are from, if you are a person of a minority status, you're going to get money to go to college. So there's an easier track for people to do that who are of minority status than there is for white people. That's a fact. Because of affirmative action, white people have been prejudiced against and racially biased against. And now we're seeing the Democrats push this ridiculous ideology that we're all entitled. All the white people are entitled. Hardly. We're the ones that were suffering over the past 30 years while people like Barack Obama got a free education with a subpar average. In fact, I'm pretty sure Barack Obama nearly failed Occidental College. I'm 90% sure of it. That's why he would never show his grades from Occidental. But there's more than enough evidence that he never even went to Harvard. I could prove that too. I actually have absolute proof that Barack Obama never went to Harvard, but nobody really cares. We spent 3 or 4 years talking about that. Nobody really cares. I don't want affirmative action for anyone. I want everybody, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, I want everybody to have double the Pell Grants. And you know, in the last debate, Amy Klobuchar was asked in the last Democratic debate, she was saying, somebody asked her, where did you get that idea for double Pell Grants? And you know what she responded? She said that I got it online. She got it watching my show. Nobody's allowed to give me any credit for anything in the media. Nobody in the media right now who's famous is allowed to mention me. It's a career breaker. Your cousin went to Wharton School of Business, University of Pennsylvania, then law school, and now he owes over 200 grand, right? And if either he becomes a brick and mortar, a lawyer, or a ambulance chaser, he will never pay that money back. You know, I'd be more than willing to once I consolidate the fixed rate loans that all of you seem to owe and get the interest rate down to 1% or 2%, because we're shooting for a 2% margin across the board with a new infrastructure bank. And then you know that if you pay a certain amount, you will eventually get rid of your loan. Then I'll consider, we'll see where we're at, and we'll see where we can go with that in terms of discounting your debt. It's no different than Chapter 11, really. Now, ironically, because of the Chapter 11 laws, you're not allowed to use your student loan debt and consolidate it in your overall debt load. So when you restructure or finance your debt, you can't add student loan to it. You won't be able to do that for the future either. So we're going to have to find a way of dealing with that for you. I was not a Jordache Gene model, but thank you. Well, the fact is Trump is getting people to believe that he's going to stop the Democrats. That's what they want to hear. Trump is playing right into the two-party paradigm. For those of us who are aware that that's a game that the elitists are playing, left versus right, right versus left, it's not that big of a reality check to know that, yeah, that's what Trump is doing. Trump is appealing to their lowest banal interests. I hate certain people. You know, and that attitude, that Archie Bunker mentality is exactly the voter he has in Tulsa. He went to the very heart of prejudice, racism, and stupidity when he went into Tulsa. Now, I've been to Tulsa. It's a disaster zone. You're lucky to even get through that area alive. If you're a person of color, good luck. Seriously. I just don't trust it. And then the police, you're lucky to get out of that state with your bank account intact, because if they find a little marijuana cigarette in your car, they will swipe your cards clean and completely drain your accounts. The police have card swipers and credit card drafters on board their vehicle. They come up to your window and swipe you and say, well, we're going to ticket you here, but we're taking all your money. Yeah, I'm serious. They will do that. So there's major problems with Oklahoma. Okay is not okay. So we're back to the chess game where George Soros tries to manipulate Antifa and Donald Trump gives them a free pass. Meanwhile, our First, Second, Fourth, Fifth Amendments are under attack, with Donald Trump embracing Bill Gates and his idea of COVID testing, which is absurd. Will I cover the disaster, which is the reality? You know, I don't know what kind of a rally it is. It was kind of half full. Or I'm going to say half empty. The sold out 18,000 person arena for Trump in Tulsa right now, folks. This is sold out. That means that somebody in the Republican National Party bought all those seats in the upper rafters. This pretty much tells you, typifies what the Republicans are all about. It's all about lies. Look at that. The whole upper area is empty, but it's sold out. I don't think so. Somebody bought those seats. Yeah, so this has been a lie all along. Even the idea that Trump has supporters is kind of a joke. Most people in America now, 57% dislike Trump. And for good reason. He's not providing any candor in his speeches. He's simply pumping people up with lies and hate against the Democrats. You know, as much as I was a Democrat for 30 years and I understand the core views of the Democrats, I stepped away from that model when I realized we couldn't afford to keep spending money without even cutting. And I knew that the New Deal was a bad deal for America, that even a new Green Deal would be a worse deal, because we never stopped spending under FDR. There is no way to monitor that spending. Now, what I offer all of you is, as a centrist, a way of fiscally trimming the budget and getting things under control financially. What Trump doesn't offer is any oversight over his actions whatsoever. What I offer is total oversight over my actions, total transparency. I want people to question the funding that I'm putting out. I want your interaction. It's the exact opposite of Trump. I want your solutions that you might suggest too, and we're going to have all kinds of ways to input ideas. A daily 24/7 show, chat show, with online chat monitors who can talk to you day and night, will have a morning, afternoon, and evening graveyard shift. They'll be making money at C-SPAN. I'm just going to funnel a little bit of money into C-SPAN to do this. And they will be handling the show, taking in polls that you guys are creating online. And in the process, you guys can vote on the polls and, make your decisions if you want, pipe in on it. We then take the poll data and use it as the model for our show and find out where you're coming from and where we have to go. I'm very flexible with what needs to be done here, but I'm not in any way the kind of person that's going to force my will upon you, especially if 2/3 of you say, no way, Dave. If 2/3, the majority of our country, a supermajority, says no way, I will listen. And similarly, we won't legalize drugs until you say 67% says, yeah, Dave, we need to legalize drugs. But right now, I'm in favor of legalizing marijuana. And more than 67% now, especially of younger people, want legalized marijuana. Another reason to vote for me in 2020. We can't wait another 4 more years to build this new, vibrant cannabis economy. The future of our country is a cannabis economy. It's based on a simple formula. What makes you feel good and is not addictive will sell, as well as help the country in creating products like hempsulation, stuff that goes in your walls that made it of hemp that's completely mold proof. Seriously. Hempcrete, which is like 5 times stronger than regular concrete because it's got fiber in it. I mean, there's a lot of things that we'll be building, and it's lighter too. Anyway, there's all these great ideas. Hempoline, an additive to diesel that will help our country save money with renewable energy. So if you don't embrace cannabis at this point, I'm sorry for you. It's a growth economy in so many states, and that's why 3/4 of our country now has approved it in some form or another, and 1/4 is holding out. I feel bad for you people in Indiana. Mike Pence has been a bad mark on your state, and he left a conservative footprint of mindlessness. So he can't even articulate what he feels. The man is devoid of emotion. The man is like a walking cardboard cutout of a wooden Indian. Not that there's anything wrong with Indians. And Trump is a snake oil salesman. Exactly. We all need something to get by, especially now. We've been put in a very rough position, all of us have. Many of you can't do the things you wanted to do, and that's all due to Donald Trump. He could have taken a strong position against Fauci and Birx. Instead, he caved in. They told me to say shut it down, so I shut it down. I mean, the guy is completely lost as a leader. I would have had National Guard positioned in Minneapolis right now, and we would have been tearing down the city. All these buildings were gutted out, would have been torn down by now. We would have had a brand new building going up for everybody who lost their business there with a new front screen. Everyone who lost their business in Minneapolis would not have to sell that property. We offer you a brand new storefront. We don't need to go backwards. We need to go forwards, but there's no way we're going to retain that early economy without security. Our economy is not going to ever recover from Donald Trump shutting it down when he can't even control the nation's cities. And it all looks like this guy and Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are behind the Acme Brick Company, which funded these riots. You see, it's getting really simple now. Soros owns Trump. Yeah. He owns him. He, along with the New World Order, owns Trump. That's why Trump won't mention Soros's name. Ever. Yeah. And this guy has been committing treason with all his money, trying to break our country apart. And that's the real patriotism that needs to be generated here. And there's no way we're going to follow suit with him and Bill Gates and form a COVID-19 testing for everyone. That's not happening. Unless they want to fight fire with fire, it's going to be bad for a lot of people. Yeah, Abe Lincoln made a point. If you were a factory worker in the 70s, lost your job in 2008, you had no education and you're 50-something, Donald Trump is not going to bring that job back. Good point, Abe. And you know, I am the only person in America who's offering the $500 a month plan. And I was the first guy in America to offer the universal basic income plan. My idea was stolen by Andrew Yang. And I'm not in any way going to back down on that deal. That's the plan, and that's the offer I'm giving you in America, $500 a month for every U.S. citizen. 18 or over. So a lot of you want to separate from your family and go live in a community that's cool. You'll have $500 a month to live in one of my tiny home villages in our state parks. That's the newest thing I'm developing. I'm having a revamped CCC, Civilian Conservation Corps, which will ultimately replace our National Park Service. Not right away, but slowly transitioning our National Park Service out, retire a bunch of old fogies making a lot of money, get them into a pension plan that's affordable for America. And then a lot of you young people will be working for $15 an hour and have a tiny house you can build in the park. Now, this is an idea that came to me, that we could actually develop state parks, national park villages that would expand out into new settlements for a lot of young people who want to live in nature. And I know this is going to be very appealing. I know I would do it if I were to join right now and jump in. I'd say, yeah, I'm all over that. You get to stay right away in a tiny house that will be made by the government, and then live there and work a few days a week in the National Park Service, making money, and you'll make $500 a month, which you could put into your rent, because we will have to charge you a little rent for that place to live. But we won't charge you more than your $500 a month, that's for sure. So it's the beginning of a way of getting people who then learn how to make tiny houses in our little community building centers, and that every state park and every federal park could have these little centers that will be a way in which you can begin to build your future and create a tiny house of your own. You could put your name on it, on the ownership, when you finally pay for it or build it, and we'll help you get the basic layout of the wheels and such all set up. You then go from there. But this is just part of the big revival I'm planning, the Homestead Renewal Plan, which is to take old houses and fix those up too. So if you can imagine tiny house villages in America all around, growing in our state parks, which have facilities available, we could do this and then go from there and see how many people can build a house of their own, or take an old renovated house and fix it up and own it within 10 years at $500 a month payments. So your $500 a month will actually come back to America in the form of payments. We will be able to loop that capital back to us if you want to build these houses or rent these houses. Otherwise, you take all that money yourself, either way. But if you want to pay back into, say, a public option, you'll be taking about $60 out of that per month. And you just say, well, I don't want the 60 if I get full health care. Then you would take the 60 less. It'd be a tiered plan, but $500 would be your take every month, no matter who you are, as long as you're a U.S. citizen and can prove it. Now, this is a way to get the money trickling into the economy in a way that will back up our economy. So if there's ever a strike on our economy from some unknown source, like a major hack on our financial system, we'll be able to actually reset the amount of money in your pocket at that time, instantaneously, digitally. I will not force COVID ID 19 on anyone. I will not force vaccinate anyone in America. I'll not take away your guns. These are things I'm promising you that you won't get from Joe Biden or Donald Trump. These are the things that should matter to all of you, which I'm sure they do. But these are the things I don't want them to do to me either. I don't want to have them take away my BB guns. I don't want them to force vaccinate me. I won't take the chip. So I would expect the same of you. And I will treat everyone as if I were the one receiving that service. All right. Yeah, you're right. I agree. Stores were jacking up prices during the stimulus check period. I'm not going to be able to set prices on stores unless I move in with a fair tax, and I'm not planning on doing that. It's too much too soon. The flat tax is different than the fair tax. That's a value-added tax. Stores will still jack prices up. They can do that, but there's also a thing called competition. Now, one of the things I want to offer are basic food supplies at generic food stores. So if a store is jacking up prices on your food, the government will then come in and offer a food supply. It will start with food banks, and we'll have an upper tier where you can actually go shopping. So if you want to go out and if somebody's going to charge you like $15 a pound for a piece of meat, and you just keep the price of meat going, it's going up, up, up. America will come in with generic food products. I'm more than willing to do that. generic food items sold locally. So building up a small group of like 7-Eleven mini stores in every area run by the government is totally possible. Walmart scrubbed the idea, and I thought that was a mistake. All the mini stores that Walmart wanted to make recently were completely given up. The Walmart completely shut that program down. I thought that was a big mistake. So we'll see something like that revive. We'll start with food banks, though. We'll start setting up locations, buy enough property, 2 to 3 acres for parking and whatnot. And we'll start with food banks at these locations. So nobody goes starving. Even if you're not even a legal citizen of the United States, you'll still have food to eat. And then we'll go up from there and we'll create a tier that's just for retail. We can do this. We can beat these capitalist pigs who are trying to take our country down. Now, I'm not a socialist, but I'm not afraid to look at the options of public options, especially since I've carried the idea longer than Joe Biden. The public option is very real. It's not a mandatory thing. It's if you want to pay $60 a month, you'll have full health care, including dental. Now, if you want something and you don't want to pay a public option, you'll be able to go to our mobile medical units and actually get a tooth pull for $50. If you don't want to pay into the monthly fee, you will pay it's a copay, basically. And you will pay that money, and it will either, if you don't want to pay it, you can sign an affidavit saying you're broke, and we'll still pull your tooth if it's rotting in your mouth. It'll just come out of Medicaid funds. So the system is going to be running kind of on a flexible basis. On a granular level, we, the people, are going to have to, really work together here. We're not going to be able to do this if we're all killing each other, whether we're white, black, Hispanic, or Asian. You see, we can't really roll services out to the American people if a race war starts. So this third party trumps a race war. And we're not going to fall for this BS where George Floyd is replaced by a medical dummy. And we're supposed to be looking at something with no legs. We're not going to be able to do anything if I can't verify these events happened. I showed you earlier that this guy has no legs here in the picture. And they got police taking him out, not EMT professionals. These are sheriffs taking him out, or policemen. But there's no legs there. It's all bundled up in a bundle. I've seen medical dummies like this, and if you pivot the frame that they're on, their head will bonk over. They're like rubberized. And we've taken a look at this, and I don't believe the George Floyd thing, that's a rubber dummy. I don't believe the George Floyd thing actually happened the way we think it did. There's so many things in that case that are very suspicious. Like one of the cops has no footage, body camera footage, 7 hours missing. Yet the mayor has said that he saw that, or she did see that. So there's a lot of things happening here that just don't make any sense. Similarly, I showed you that there were no flash muzzle rounds in the recent Rayshard Brooks shooting, which is a significant factor. The fact that there were no actual flash sights shows you that this is deception, pure and simple, against the American people.
Muzzle flashes, you stupid son of a bitch! He wasn't murdered, he was fake murdered!
So as you can see, there are no actual muzzle flashes from the bullet leaving the gun. So that's serious. So we've been deceived not once, but twice recently, creating a lot of racial strife in our country. And I know a lot of black people have had long-standing issues against police violence, and I agree with them. I do. I think police are targeting black people often. I do. I'd be foolish to say otherwise. Trump Tardican made a good point. He said the original plan for the railroad was to create small houses in the off-ramps. When they created highways, they wanted to create small housing groups off the highways, yeah. My idea of national parks coincides with the government's original concept to use public land, absolutely. So I think we're onto something here, guys. I know a lot of people who don't really feel like they have a future, are feeling like they're stuck in the cities. This National Park Service will roll out at the same time we try to gentrify cities, so you'll have an option. You may like city life. You may want to participate in our homestead renewal plan near your house where you're living so that you can upgrade. Or you may want to find a new place to live at a national park. And we'll try to make this available for you to actually visit the places through video, see where you'd be living. It wouldn't be like, gee, I'm going to leave mom and dad. I'm heading over to the national parks to join the CCC. You'll know what you're getting into. We'll even show you video footage of the location that you were originally from or that you want to go to. Say it's in your area, near your family. I mean, who wouldn't want to be living near their family and work at a national park and own a tiny house in a village that could be their permanent home? Now, these villages could expand out too. Good idea. Okay, so we've been deceived by these two events, which clearly have been hoaxes. And they've been pushing the envelope of fear. And I just showed you a picture of a black guy beating up a white guy at a department store, which was very troubling earlier in the show. But bear in mind, that black guy was beating that guy up because they were making money filming it. They were told by somebody they could make serious cash by going out and beating any random white dude and send that in. So a lot of these black people who are in need of money are being exploited, beating up people because George Soros really is. He's all about breaking our country up. We're fighting a man who's committing treason, who's close friends with Donald Trump. And Soros represents the New World Order. And their agenda is all about bagging and tagging the human race. Now, I'm just happy enough to be able to tell you all this in this life that I'm living right now, because you may not have the opportunity to hear it from anyone else. Seriously. And if somebody doesn't tell you about these things, which are clearly happening, you won't know in your whole life why all this is happening. You won't know that this is just one big plan by a bunch of sick bastard inbred elitist pigs who think they can kill off the human race because they have more money than we do. You won't ever know this. And you won't ever know that you have an opportunity collectively to stop these pigs. But if we have people like Donald Trump and Joe Biden who are viable as our leader, we will never get out of this situation. We will be stuck here for eternity, and even worse. We won't imagine the life of a person living in a re-education camp right now in China. Say he was a Uyghur or a Falun Gong member. Either one of those people would be in a re-education camp right now, and anything they do would be actually punished if they went out of line. They actually do not contact their families once they get in these re-education camps, because if they do, every one of their actions is monitored. The families become endangered. That's the world that's coming for all of you if you continue just accepting the norm and living the status quo and expecting the same or different results from your same vote every year. Now, as long as you vote Democrat, you're voting to divide the nation. As long as you vote Republican, you're voting to divide the nation. I stand for the Bill of Rights, which will hold America up during this troubled time. And a vote for a centrist candidate is a vote to unite the nation. Now, I'm not going to piss enough people off to not win this election. I'm going to win this election. Today, I was angry at the Oklahoma people because they haven't been smart with their leadership. I showed you a man who's been one of their best senators ever, Jonathan Nichols, who died last year around this time, gunshot to his head, and how he was working with another woman from Arkansas. I showed you information about how they were investigating child abductions by the CPS organization. They were both killed within a day of each other the same way, within 500 miles of each other, within a day's range of each other. And both of them died under suspicious circumstances. Jonathan had a gun sitting on a table away from him when he died of a gunshot wound to the head. So in other words, he blew his head off and then got up and sat down and reached over and set the gun down in a nice, neat place next to him. That's an open investigation as far as I'm concerned. So I'm trying to make you aware that the good people in Oklahoma are getting killed off. The smart people are getting taken out there. They want people to be stupid in Oklahoma. That's the problem. Some of our brightest and most intelligent people who are in Oklahoma right now are spending their night with Captain Morgan, who's become their best friend. Captain Morgan happens to be a very stiff alcohol. That's how they get through it in Oklahoma. No, I don't. I don't ever wonder what's going on because I know what's going on. That's the problem. Yeah, when you have my level of perception and awareness, it all is very clear. Oftentimes I wonder, how am I going to explain how bad this is when it's such a complex picture? So I come up with ways to simplify it for all of you. That's perhaps one of my most difficult tasks, is simplifying a very complex, what is called a asymmetric attack on our country right now from a globalist group of people, a cabal, who control our government through our Democratic and Republican Party and their greed. So even saying that is very confusing. It's like, what? Huh? Yeah, the rich people are trying to take out the people that don't have any money. That's what's going on. That's the simplest way I could describe it. All right, so coming up with a pimped up speech by a guy who, he probably is a pimp for all I know. Trump has Trump escort service. He probably runs women through that operation. I wouldn't even doubt it. But they don't have a sold out auditorium, folks. It's an empty building. And it's not in full circle. That's just the one group of people they assembled in that one side of this stadium for a camera shot. If you took a 360-degree angle and went all the way around the stadium, it would be all empty. But there's no shots of that. That's just one side of a stadium half full. That's 1/4 of a stadium half full. That's 1/8 of a stadium. So that, say the stadium handles 10,000 people. There might be 2,000 people there at Trump's event. He's calling it 50,000 or 100, whatever. It's all BS coming out of Trump's mouth. Brewster's Millions, that's a good movie. Now, last night there was a terrible attack, 2 days ago actually, against the Albert Pike statue. One of the last remaining statues in America, in DC, of a Confederate. And it's no longer standing, so the last Confederate statue of Albert Pike has toppled. There's only about maybe 100 people there. See how easy it is to fake an attack on a statue and make public TV and get noticed? This is what George Soros expects he can get for his money. He hires 100 people to take a statue down, and he sets up a video signal and multiple camera feeds, and then boom. He's got America thinking we're all falling apart here. Yeah, Oklahoma might top Michigan when it comes to craziness. I agree. Michigan has a terrible leader. She's a complete, utter socialist, and she's violating the Constitution. Are you telling me Trump is a liar? Are you telling me? Of course he's a liar. He's been lying ever since he started. Yeah, your pot plant's growing till midnight. Wow. Are you getting more output out of that? That's nice. You know, has anyone gone to jail for it? No. In fact, Donald Trump allowed the rioters in D.C. to all be released because he didn't have a say in it. The mayor did. But all those rioters were never charged with any crimes. Even in St. Louis, where it was really bad, there was gunfire. And I understand a couple of people were shot. I don't think they've arrested anybody. They released everybody back into the field because our government wants these riots to continue. That's why they released 67,000 people from our jails, and Trump didn't even say, well, I think that it's wrong for you to release people from the jail because they could be dangerous. He never said anything like that. He never told the governors in the various states not to release people from prison. Nothing. I would have issued an executive order saying nobody's released from prison right now, especially during COVID-19. We have a perfect place to quarantine. They're called prisons. So you've got to ask yourself, are we really going to continue this nonsense of Donald Trump lying to the stupidest people in America and getting away with it? And somehow the media captures that as, oh, it's a win-win for America. No, he just captured the minds of a bunch of stupid people. The aware people realize that this division is completely made up and controlled. The more you come in and attack people like blacks or whites or Hispanics, the more you're playing right into this exploitation by the elites. They want to create a race war. They want to take our life down. They want to destroy your world because they don't want you alive. No matter who you are, they want you gone because you're not one of them. You're not in their club and you're not invited. Okay, we got other things going on. I can't get over that link you sent me of the CDC going door to door in Atlanta. That shocked me, Scissor Fight. Thank you for that link. We'll play that again later. It's crazy. No, you can't call the show and try to interrupt it. You can't call the show and try to interrupt it. It just doesn't work that way. We're not going to fall for that little ploy you're doing right now. Okay, we've got a video here, a 6-minute video about a... All right. Full video of a guy grinding up the local news reporter for being a liar. Cool.
Saturday, I was at the protests, and the police were ignoring the violent protesters and attacking the peaceful ones. Why don't you report that?
I was on the ground also, and that's not what I saw, respectfully.
Well, I got video of it, and it's all posted.
I'm happy to take a look at your video.
And then, why were the police just standing there while the looters were there? They were 1 block away. The looters were up and down Forbes Avenue, and the police were standing there 1 block away and were protecting the looters.
I really appreciate you sharing your views with me.
Why didn't you report that?
That's not what I saw, sir.
Yeah,
I report what I see.
No, you report what you're told to say.
Nobody tells me what to say, sir.
Yeah, they do.
How do you know?
So there's tons of video of the police standing there watching the looters. Why don't you report on that? Not only that, the roving police came up through Market Square, stood at the end of Forbes Avenue, looked up, looked at all the looters, and then moved on. On video, I have it on video.
I'm happy to take a look at your video. I really am.
I sent it to all your reporters already.
Nobody sent it to me. If you give me your...
I don't even know who you are, dude.
I'm David Kaplan. I'm a reporter with Channel 4. If you send me what you have, I'm more than happy to take a look at it.
Yeah, you'll look at it and then you won't say anything about it because you're not allowed. How come it's the same in every city? The police protect the violent paid protesters and attack the peaceful ones. It's all over Twitter. It's in every city. It's the same story. There's actually real news stations in some cities that report that. Why don't you?
Sir, I'm reporting everything I see. I know you're not going to agree with me, and I respect your opinions, and I respect your passion. I truly do. Clearly, we're not going to see things the same way. I'm there. I see what I report, and I report it. I see what I see, and I report it as I see it. Nobody's telling me what to say. Nobody's telling me what to do.
You don't have a producer?
I have producers, but they don't tell me what to say, sir. That's not how my business works. What
sure
happens
it
is that we're together right now. We get dispatched out into the field. We see what's going on.
What about all the...
Nobody tells me, sir, I let you talk. Nobody tells me what to say. That's not how my job works. Nobody says, hey, we need you to say this, this, and this. Hey, here's an email saying, here's what our talking points are. That's not how my world actually operates.
What about...
I go out like I was here today and saw peaceful protesters, and at 5 and 6 o'clock, I'm going to say there were peaceful protesters. I have no political agenda, sir. I really don't.
What about all the...
Nobody that I know does either. We're purely objective journalists.
Yeah, you are. What about...
Truly, sir, from the bottom of my heart.
Okay, I know.
I'm a political dog in any...
Okay, what about all the compilation videos where they show thousands of newscasts in every city all reporting and saying the exact same thing?
Yeah. Nobody tells me what to say, sir.
But there's compilation videos on YouTube and Twitter. They got millions and millions of views where every reporter in every city, at every station, they say the exact same thing, word for word. How do you explain that?
I don't know what you're referring to, so I can't.
Of
Really
course you
support that.
don't. Of course you don't.
Okay.
I know. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you so much for your time. It was
Thank
lovely
you.
chatting with you.
It was great talking to you.
Have a good one.
Put your mask on. Watch out, the virus is going to get you. Oh, why do you got to wear? You didn't have your mask on the whole time, and now you're putting your mask on. Here's a guy. He's been standing here the whole time without his mask. Here's his camera dude with no mask on.
Right.
But here he is. Now he's still trying to scare everyone. Now he's going to put his mask on while he reports. Keep spreading that fear, buddy.
Yeah.
Keep spreading that fear. Why didn't you have your mask on before? Now he's not talking to me. Why didn't you have your mask on the last 10 minutes? Huh?
They're asking us to wear it per guidelines for television. To say
So you're told what to do. Exactly. You just told me you weren't told what to do. You just told me you could do whatever you want.
I said I was told not. I wasn't told what to say.
Oh, you're just told what to wear.
We're trying to follow and set a good example.
Oh, okay. Set a good example. Is that what it is?
Sir, I appreciate it. Can you please let me do my job now?
I like filming phonies. What's your name again?
David
Phony?
Kaplan.
Yeah, go somewhere else. Are you going to get the vaccine? Huh? Why don't you report on the MRC5 that's in the vaccines? When are you going to report on that? Huh? Hey, David Kaplan. When are you going to report on the MRC5 that's in the vaccines?
Okay, for your information, MRC5 is basically a vaccine consists of dead or attenuated live viruses that are introduced to the patient's body to activate their defenses. And the MRC5 cells are currently used to produce several vaccines, including the MMR, varicella, and polio. It's a diploid human cell structure culture line composed of fibroblasts, developed from research driving lung tissue of a 14-year-old aborted Caucasian male fetus. So, yeah, this is the lung tissue that was cultured by of a male fetus he's referring to. And yeah, not many people even know that the vaccines are going to have, these and HEK293 cells, which is human embryonic kidney cells. But MRC5 is one of their strains of aborted Caucasian male fetus cells, the lung tissue. So, hey, they're making good use of your baby body parts at Planned Parenthood, folks. Isn't that nice? And they're going to stick it in your bloodstream. Isn't that the irony? That Donald Trump wants to inject vaccines in all the poor Bible belters who want to have pro-life. You get to be injected with human embryonic kidney cells or the lung tissue of male aborted fetuses. Isn't that special? Yeah, that's kind of a joke, isn't it? I mean, it's in a sick way. I'm not saying it's funny, but I'm saying in a sick way, isn't it kind of ironic that they want to stick aborted fetus cells in the bloodstreams of all these Christians that want to save human life? It's almost unbelievable how sick that is. Anyway.
Huh?
Sir, can you please let us do our job?
I'm doing my job.
Sir,
this is my job.
Sir, I am trying to do my job right now. Can you please?
I'm doing my job right now. I'm reporting on why you're a liar. Take the mask off. Why? You didn't have your mask on the whole time. Now you put it on. Look at him. He went and hid. He went and hid inside the car.
Yeah.
Phonies. Lying fake phonies. Don't report on the paid protesters causing the violence.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. He don't have a mask, but David Kaplan has a mask. Where's your mask at, buddy? Huh? Where's your mask? Aren't you scared of the virus? The virus is gonna get you. Look, there it is. I see virus down there. It's crawling up. It's sneaking up on you. You better put your mask on.
No, he wiped his butt today, so he's free of any viruses. Yeah, that guy is hilarious. Thank you for that clip. Anything to rouse these reporters who are bubble-headed, bleach blonde, or idiots. They're just simply citing what the AP tells them to cite. Oh yeah, that's exactly what they do. They can't keep their job if they drift from the party line. We all know the mainstream media controls the narrative and the talking points. But what that man talked about was very important. The cops are simply going after the protesters that are peaceful and letting the violent rioters do their thing. And this is a consistent thing in all the cities that were affected the past 4 weeks. Consistently, the bricks were all in place, and we showed you those bricks on my video that I have on 153 News, which is a network that offers alternative views. But 153 offered an opportunity for me to post a video, and I posted it at my third-party account called Government-Sponsored Civil Unrest. And it addresses the same thing. Our government is behind this anarchy that's going on in all the cities. That's why they told the cops to let the looters break through windows and attack the innocent protesters and abuse them. So that confirms my belief. And I didn't even have this in the video. This just has pictures of bricks everywhere. So in the video, I think I've had, The video, what I don't understand about 153news.net is the trajectory of the videos. They were like this. I got this many hits on 153news.net, and then it went flatline like that. So that's why I don't trust 153news.net completely. I really don't. My views have hardly even increased, and I'll send people there if you want to see the video. Do try to watch it. It's a 1-hour show. But it gives you a complete comprehensive look at all of the different things that happened on that day. All the bricks. There's this one guy that talked about it.
You to expose this because I'm going to show you a pattern. And then I'm going to show you what happened in New York City and who instigated the opening of the pallets of bricks. So don't...
Tonya Tokyo has some of her work in there. I put that in there because it was very good. Just a variety of pictures, including people who were former Black Lives Matter supporters who are no longer happy with Black Lives Matter, their testimony. We got other things in there as well.
1776 and 1871, through the backing of Pope Pius IX,
We talk about how the country is being taken over by George Soros in this video. Anyway, feel free to check that out. Okay, we got one other thing here. Oh yes, Raz Simons. Turns out he's getting money from Dubai to create this rogue state within the city of Seattle. The guy, Raz, has been getting money. He's basically a gun runner for the Dubai organization. He gave out free AR-15s to everybody in the CHOP zone. Washington State's governor basically said, "Oh, I don't know anything about it." And the mayor thinks this is like the summer of love, but when you get in this zone, you don't know what's going to happen. And right now, something bad happened. Let's take a look.
Now, but instead of doing that, you're going to wait here. You guys are that afraid? There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way they're that afraid to not save this man's life. There's no way. There's no way this could be happening.
So medics refused to help even after people in the CHOP begged him. They let our brother bleed out for 30 minutes till he died. This is what happened. Okay. And this is the Raz Simone site. He's trying to generate buzz that somebody got killed. I wouldn't doubt he was involved in the killing of the guy. I wouldn't doubt he knifed the guy to get the police to try to come and fire and rescue, and then he's out there videotaping it. This is from his site. This is his location. This is his Twitter account.
Are you guys kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is what you guys are doing? You could be saving this man's life right now.
So he calls the police, he calls fire and rescue, and then he I wouldn't doubt he stabbed the guy. And I wouldn't doubt he killed the guy just to make sure that the sheriff and the police can prove that they can't come into the CHOP zone and save his life. I almost think that's propaganda. I seriously don't. I believe that Raz is working for the Muslim Brotherhood, Black Lives Matter is connected. We showed you how they're connected to the Muslim Brotherhood. I wouldn't doubt he's working directly for Dubai to try to implant their jihad here in America right now. And they're killing people in the chop zone. I really think that's more incriminating of Chaz than anything, or Raz. I don't trust anybody who thinks that they can make a video and promote it like that and act like it's a big thing. Of course the sheriffs are not going in there. Nobody's going in there because the governor hasn't called the National Guard yet. He actually asked the National Guard to leave last week. Governor Inslee did. We have a warlord in our state. I know, that's what I'm talking about. So our state's the first to be thrown under the bus. Remember, Donald Trump didn't like Jay Inslee. So he's not even sending the National Guard in and paying for it. When they were here, Jay didn't even want them. So I'm not really sure what's going on with Jay Inslee, that he thinks it's okay to have a veritable rogue state occur in the United States. This is the first time in our history that a rogue state has been formed in the United States. The very first time. And nobody seems to care. The Democrats think this is a good experiment and in living together like a commune. And these are from people that have never solved the homeless problem in Seattle. Never confronted it head on. It just amazes me how morphed this is. It's turned into kind of a bad cartoon. Now there's mask hysteria for the masses. Let's take a look. Well, I don't know what this is, so because it's got some music that could be monetized, I'm going to stop it. But this will be playing tonight, starting at 10 o'clock. So in about 20 minutes, we'll start that. You know, I would have run for governor if I had the ability at that time. But at this point, this state is almost too far gone. Back when I ran in 2014 for a state legislature, I had to answer like 40, 50 pages of online questionnaires. And I submitted work to the state. And then I found out that all of my work that I'd written, 40, 50 pages of ideas for the state, was actually thrown in the garbage. Completely lost. It was simply a website that disappeared after about a week or two. So they didn't really want to hear my input. They didn't want to publish it. It was unfair what they did. So I'm going to go with the idea that if I continue wasting my time trying to run for lower offices, I'm really wasting an opportunity for America. And honestly, if I were to run for governor and win, it wouldn't make a difference. It really wouldn't. Our country's already in the tight clutches of the New World Order. If anything, I would simply be sucked right in. You need an outsider to come in and clean this up who's not run by the New World Order. You need someone with my level of clarity and in some ways, innocence. You really need somebody with that level of innocence that I retained all my life, because I don't believe that money should buy people. And I think the longer it does, as long as people succumb to money, more of us will be suffering from exploitation and oppressed. So I'm kind of the unmoney candidate. And most of the people who get into the governorship, like Jay Inslee, he got lots of money to win that election. He actually won it with Big Pharma money. They put him in. Big Pharma put him in there. That's why they want to roll out COVID testing in our state big time, just like they do in Atlanta. I'm sure he could be kicked out, but I'm not the only one who wants to run against him. Another guy is talking about running against him. Yeah, there's a guy who's had a lot of press in our area. I'm not going to give you his name, but he's had a lot of press for some tax work that he did, and I don't really think he's that great at all. But I'm not planning on taking over the chop zone. If you really don't understand what I'm doing here, then just leave. But go move to the chop zone. If you want to redirect the conversation to the chop zone, you can certainly do that in the chop zone. I'm not about the chop zone. I never created anarchy in America. I want to save this nation, and I can't do it in the chop zone. So I'm not sure where you're going with that dialogue. I'd rather read something from DLive. I'm getting a death threat from DLive right now. I've got a guy from Black Lives Matter said, "You racist cracker." Look at that. I'm gonna make you respect us Black lives. Now, this isn't even a black dude. This is a Jewish guy writing this. You think they will let you in the office? LOL. This is Black Lives Matter time now. You are a racist cracker. Now, I guarantee you no, you're not. You're Jewish. It's pretty obvious. Everybody in Black Lives Matter is Jewish except for the blacks that are being exploited like idiots. Now, you're going to get delete and mute on that, buddy. Unreal. I love Seattle. I used to love going there, but we won't go to Seattle anymore. I was actually, I just banned him. I actually wanted to go to Seattle with Sarah a couple times, and I even said, hey, maybe we can go to Seattle and try some of those great hotels once they open up again. Yeah. Good luck getting a free buffet or breakfast. Those things are a thing of the past. They don't do continental breakfasts anymore anywhere in the country. So it's kind of pointless to go to a hotel or a motel, right? You can't even wake up and pig out on pancakes. So no, I don't really have a plan of going to Seattle ever again. Yeah, I'm going to skirt the city. There's a lot of ways around it. There is no soul child anymore. We kicked her out of the room permanently for overly discussing stomas and not recognizing free speech. A woman who talked about her stoma being replaced incessantly in our room can't understand free speech. So it's like, okay, bye. Better luck in your next world. Yeah, black people don't even text. It's pretty obvious that was a Jewish guy. Most Jewish people who have a lot of desire for profit, they see blacks as easy pickings. They can just use them and exploit them and use their cause to get more money. Black Lives Matter was a conduit for Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood, and some of these evil Jewish people. And I like Jewish people, but some of them are really evil. The Ashkenazis are the bad ones, the ones that became Nazis. Those Jewish people are really they're really off the deep end. They're the ones that are really behind a lot of this. You could say the New World Order is being run by Zionists, and you would be accurate. You guys have to move on, because it turns out that Soul Child was not a human being. She was actually a robot. They had an elaborate character online that pretended to be English and sat there and looked up in the sky. It was kind of amazing. She had developed I think it was a CGI of this overly overweight girl sitting up looking in the sky and talking about her stoma bag. You got to admit, the creativity that's going into these robots is almost amazing. They try to figure out how they can keep talking in a chat room without getting kicked out. And if you talk about your stoma bag, there's a guilt trip about that. Nobody wants to feel bad, kicking you out. So it's a guarantee they can stay in the chat room. It's very intense, actually. This is the thing. You think you can walk up and sucker punch some white guy walking in a store shopping at the men's furnishings department and do it for money? You really think that's going to work out for you? Well, yeah, most white guys who are walking in a department store are totally pussified. They're like Gulliman. You picked a guy who is an easy target. You're not going to be able to do that in the real world, dude. And you're flesh and blood too. That's the thing. Yeah. And no, not everybody fights fair. Count on it. Downtown Seattle hotels with complimentary breakfast. Travel guide. I'm in luck. What? You mean they're allowing complimentary breakfasts at these hotels? Are you sure? I bet if you call, they'll say they don't have it. It's called the Crown Plaza Hotel in downtown Seattle. Yeah, let me get their number. They don't seem to have a number. Huh. Yeah, I gotta book the hotel before you can get their phone number. Huh. Well, let's do the search for the phone number online instead. Here we go. Well, I don't want to go to Vegas because I just met I heard somebody just got COVID-19 in Vegas, so I'm going to stay away. Yeah, do you have a continental breakfast still on your room rates?
No, sir. This time we don't offer breakfast because the restaurant is closed.
Oh, I see. So your restaurant offer is you don't do a morning continental breakfast for a booking? Okay.
No, sir. Not this time. We don't offer that package at this time.
Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye. So there you have it. No restaurants are open. So if I wanted to go to Seattle right now and do the continental breakfast and overlook the beautiful chopped, the rogue state that's forming in America and say, oh, honey, let's have some, would you like more sausages with your pancakes? Oh, look at the poor people down there. They're living in tents and chopped. I understand that there's a rape tent down there where women are being raped. Oh, men too. Oh, really? And no one is policing the area? I don't think you understand what's happening. Our government is authorizing the anarchy that's taking place in the country. Now, I know that's hard to wrap your head around because for your whole life you've been thinking, our government really cares about us and they're not going to do anything bad for us. They're going to save us. You need to unwind that brain of yours. You need to realize that no, your government doesn't give a crap about you. Thank you, Bob. So nice to hear from you. It's so wonderful to hear you say the compliments about my British accent. I've been told I have the worst British accent on earth. By British people, so that comes as a real compliment. Yes, so no continental breakfast. Sorry. Yeah, CHOP is sponsored by Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood, courtesy of George Soros. Okay? And if you Republicans can't figure this out, Trump won't say anything bad about Soros. That's the big, huge, glaring problem with Donald Trump. And he won't say anything bad about Bill Gates either. Because Trump is owned. They own him. They'll do whatever it takes. They control everything he says and does, and he just does what they tell him. And you think that Donald Trump's going to help you? Donald Trump feels the same way about vaccines as he does about COVID testing. He'll stick a Q-tip 6 inches into your head and implant a microchip there, just like he would do with a vaccine. So Trump has never said what I said, that I will never force vaccinate or force COVID test the American people. Ever. Or any person for that matter. So yeah, you got this to look forward to if you continue voting two parties. So enjoy your future of daily COVID testing with sticks going up in your nose every day of your life. It'll get easier as time goes on. It's not so bad once you get used to it. After you develop scar tissue in your inner nasal cavity and your sinus headaches go away after the infection, then you start to feel better, but that's assuming you live, because they could be implanting not only an RFID chip in your nose, but also COVID itself. The top 5 future vehicles that will revolutionize transportation. I hope one of those is a bicycle. I hope some of those work with no energy, like a 0-point energy vehicle. Let's take a look, Dave. Okay.
Hello, everyone.
I'm sorry, but this is monetized. I can only play 2 seconds of this without them charging me. I'll play that tonight, though, at our show. Thank you for the link. You know, there are a lot of racist people of many different colors in this world, and I'm never going to be able to stop racism. You know that you're never going to be able to stop racism. The idea that they exist is abhorrent to some, but the reality is anyone can see anybody else as a racist. Yeah, you could have somebody think that you're a racist because you're not married to a black person, so you must be a racist. Yeah. I heard the governor of Washington, D.C. changed the name of the street to Black Lives Matter Plaza. I know. Donald Trump showed you how absolutely powerless he is. When he allowed Mark Esper to disarm the National Guard. Can you imagine? If you do blackface, they say you're racist too, which is absurd considering blackface happens to be the beginning and origin of the music industry for black people. Without blackface musicians in the 1890s all the way up to the 1920s, there would have never been vaudeville. There never would have been the exposure of black musicians to that. The most famous blackface musician and entertainer was named Brown, and he was a black guy. And you're not going to believe this, but he was a black guy who put blackface makeup on and did a really good job. And people started saying, this is ridiculous. Why is this black guy, Brown, dressing like a black man in blackface? And he was great. I forget his first name, but he was one of the best. And it was the first black man in entertainment. And that's how it all started. Then we saw people like Sammy Davis Jr. and Johnny Mathis, and then came a whole layer of black musicians. But you'll have to understand that without the growth of the black-faced minstrels, like, well, obviously there were many of them, but without their development, there never would have been an entertainment industry for black musicians. I've already presented the blimp plane idea to Boeing, and they created the hybrid blimp program. Now, the hybrid blimp program that they have is not exactly what I told them about. And people who oftentimes bastardize ideas, like Boeing did when I gave them the idea, they didn't understand that my idea actually is a strap-on. Yeah, it's not something that I wanted to create from the get-go. I came into Boeing, into their little gathering at Beyond Oil, and told their representatives that I was proposing this blimp pack. They looked at me and looked at each other and kind of raised their eyebrows, and they said, well, we're working on something too for moving things. Well, they didn't have anything in front of me that I could look at, so I have to assume that this thing came out about 5 years later. But these are the things that they developed from scratch. What I'm proposing actually uses the fuselage of years and years of jet industry creating great stuff. So when you look at the fuselage of a standard, let's see if I can pull this up here. Here it is. A standard jet has a tremendous amount of infrastructure in it. We've got 747 jets that are retired out that are perfectly fine. They have some structural damage, but we could spot all that with X-ray equipment. Every one of these jets could be welded and fixed up to the point where they could get another 50 more years comfortably. And the idea was to create a unit that had the flexibility that the blimp pack does have. It's a strap-on. The jets that the plane has can also be utilized. We don't need to have prop jobs. But we also have a plan to put prop jobs on the jets themselves for extra fuel economy. To prevent the use of fuel, we could easily develop open turbine jets. Now, I've talked about this idea before, but the idea of an open turbine jet is kind of like a prop job. But what we do is we take off the outside housing of those jets. And I'm showing you this only because that's a prop job. The outside housing of these jets actually could veritably be converted to an open turbine technology, which are actually quieter and much more energy efficient. Open turbine technology is not even being utilized right now by our aviation network. They could easily develop this. It would be much more energy efficient. The beautiful thing about the blimp pack is it carries the plane up into the air with little or no energy. And in order to get a plane to a high level of energy, you would have to actually spend 85% of your energy to get it into the air. So this is a savings of 85% of the fuel that a jet normally consumes. The entire exoskeleton in Kevlar, you can see the lines of the ribbing here, could be harnesses for a massive and large parachute with the inner core of the exoskeleton of the dirigible connected to the main hub of the plane. If and when there's some sort of a damage to the blimp itself, it still can work as a parachute. Now imagine that parachute 10 times bigger than what I just drew. That's how big it could roll out, or 5 times bigger. It would then have enough displacement, air displacement, to keep that plane buoyant enough to prevent injury. So these virtually will be crash proof. Now this is also something that I've been talking about, the idea of a vape lounge in the back, because remember, these plane trips will take roughly, I would say 10 hours to go from LA to New York. In the back of the plane, since I want to filter all the air inside the plane, since the back of the plane, we actually have a plan to create a vape lounge. So this area will be like a 2-level or 3-level area that you could have meetings with people. Everyone would enjoy each other. It'd be kind of cool, actually. It would not be, you wouldn't be breathing pot. The pot room would be a humidor, and it would be like a set of seats. If you wanted to get high, you'd do it in there. But the vape lounge is a place people can hang out with filtered air overall and do juices and coffees and even light beer and wine. And meet people. I mean, you got 10 hours to travel across the country, and you'll have gaming stations in there, places to hang out. You've also, we'll be using the Amtrak seating that we currently are retiring out right now, and we could easily use that inside the planes. These seats are completely flexible. You go right back in the back and lay it. You can have a full sleep. They're spaced with social distancing in mind, 6 feet apart. So you have your space. It's not like flying in a regular plane. We'll still have about 150 capacity, but it'll be much more comfortable trip, and you'll be able to meet people along the way and hang out and drink, enjoy, have fun. But again, if I can't help you with this idea in the future, then it'll never come to fruition. Just like all the ideas that Trump stole from me, 15 of them, none of them have ever been manifested properly. Now I take you to my other room over here to show you the container wall that I've talked about for years, or for at least 3 years now. But prior to that, in 2008, I came up with the 1,000-mile fence idea. And Trump grabbed the idea and liked it so much he called it a wall. And he couldn't make the wall. In fact, to this day, with all the money our country's spending right now, he's not making a wall. Because Donald Trump works for the New World Order, and they don't want a wall. The last thing they want is a wall to protect our country when they want to lower the standard of our country down to a third world nation like Mexico. So the New World Order wants an open border. They want our country to be a third world nation, and you're going to let that happen if you keep voting Democrat or Republican. That's their big plan, to turn our nation, the new normal, into anarchy in every city and a lower quality of life for all of you. Now, they've already fulfilled that goal. They've already reduced your enjoyment in life by a large margin. They say that most of us are really unhappy right now. They know that a lot of us are upset that this is not working out for us. So they know that suicide rates are up too. They want people to kill themselves. So you got to understand, our country is being taken over. It's that simple. You know, I don't believe in balloon rides that high up because you can't even breathe at that distance. Thank you, though. Well, this is an idea that I think could be very easily developed and deployed by our Army Corps of Engineers. And for $1 billion, it's a value I don't think you could even ignore. You don't have to make any more money soon. You see, the problem is the big deception a lot of you people have fallen into, especially the ones who are elite and think they're control this dialogue. You've actually shot yourself in the foot. Yeah, you're actually going to destroy your own quality of life. By destroying the world that we're living in, you're going to destroy your ability to function in your underground containers wherever you are. Under the airport in Denver, you won't have a normal life down there. Well, there's already a group of U.S. Army, or actually Marines, that are trained. They'll be coming into your containers and moving into your comfortable underground structures. And you will be taken out. We have a group of trained Marines that are actually developing underground war tactics right now. Now, I'm not really privy to tell you any more than that. I will tell you this, the U.S. Army is spending about $500 million to train soldiers to fight underground. So your days are numbered. Once I take control of the United States as a president, you will actually be rooted out of those holes and you will be brought to trial. These men are being trained right now as we speak. So if you think you're safe, you're actually going to be the most unsafe you'll ever be in the next couple of years. If you think you can pull off this routine of burying yourself in a hole and expecting the rest of the world to just sit back and watch, think again. You will be routed out by highly trained U.S. Army personnel. The Iron Hawk troop raids a tunnel complex during training at West Fort Hood. This is part of a larger training operation that included recon missions, an air movement, and live fire. This is going on right now. Actually, this was done in 2018, but it's been going on every year. Half a $500 million is dedicated between 26 and 31 active combat brigades designed to stop you people. No. We already know where you are, and you're on our radar. Nope, you've lost the whole point. We don't have fake currency. We have whatever we want to have. I have a plan to actually undermine all the money you think you're printing. It'll completely topple your fake fiat currency. We'll be bringing out the US dollar that'll be a new denomination, but we'll still honor all the old denominations. It's not going to be a US dollar bill. It'll be a denomination of the dollars. Like, say, a $300 bill. And all of your stored cash and all of your rail cars in China and wherever you hold your money will be worthless. Because the only currency that'll be functional in America will be American currency. Well, you can still bring it into America and try to use it, but it won't be good as collateral overseas. So you're screwed. You see, only 27% of our currency is needed for our economy to run. We're only running on 25% right now. That's why our economy is still printing up money rapidly. The rest of the currency is being held in rail cars and $100 bills, denominations by drug lords and people that think they own the world. And they hit a lot of money in the Cayman Islands and in Switzerland and other areas. The rich really believe they pulled the wool over our eyes and they've got the big game all worked out and they're going to somehow control the dialogue. Well, the reason why they killed John F. Kennedy is because he was printing up his own silver-backed dollars, 5s and 10s. And they knew that once he did that, they were screwed. Same thing applies here. So there won't be much wiggle room for you people. You're going down. We know exactly where you are, and we know exactly what we're going to do when I become president. So you and all your scumbag elitist friends are going to eat the big one. You don't have the balls to face what's coming. You don't. Yet you want to torture our world around us, and you think it's funny to pay black people to beat white people up and start a race war? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove you from the show, but I copied everything you said, and it will be used against you at a court of law. Sorry these things happen to you, but you're obviously confused. We got a guy who actually thinks he's got this whole thing covered. Yeah, but the fiat currency that we currently have is completely unnecessary. We can actually work with our current currency and build a better currency and keep the existing currency in place. As far as digital currency is concerned, forget it. Not going to happen. Not under my watch. We will not COVID ID the American people. I will not tattoo people like Bill Gates wants to do. It's not going to happen. We've got enough with our digital currency right now with our credit cards. We don't need any more schemes and plans. Your idea of putting us on a rail car and sending us to the FEMA camps is actually Dow's commercial, advertising Dow as a more human company. I don't plan on having my face on it. I'm not a megalomaniacal person like Donald Trump. I don't really want to have my face presented as the person that you put on a bill. But as you know, we do have t-shirts on our website right now, America's Third Party. You can actually go there and go to our store. Click the store button and you can see the picture on my t-shirt. That's a pretty good thing. Here for your trip to Chaz. Your only trip to Chaz will include a one-way pass at the rape tent. Yeah, you'll get a one-way trip to the rape tent there, buddy. You guys think you own the site, and all you do is just you DDoS our chat servers every night. It's hilarious. That's all you do. You have nothing else going on. You just DDoS us. It's kind of funny. I don't wear t-shirts. I only wear these kinds of shirts. I have kind of like a fetish for white shirts. Ever since I started this show, I used to wear like regular shirts and casual wear, and they said, why don't you dress like you're running for president? So ever since then, I changed my entire approach. I developed this idea that, if you wear nice shirts, you'll be way ahead of the game. Well, in the process, I couldn't get away from the white shirts, and now I can't give away my white shirts because to me, I value them too much. So I have a closet full of old white shirts that I've worn on the show. I do mow the lawn at a tie, it's true. I know, it's kind of hilarious. But no, I have a whole collection of shirts that even from the very beginning, the first white shirt I got from Sarah. I have that. I still wear it. I don't think it's racist. I think white shirts are the way to go. I do have a couple black shirts though. Well, Mr. Bill, that's kind of my idea, but we are going to replace EBT with $500 a month. EBT. Now that's for starters. That's the goal to get people back on track, the $500 a month plan. But if you want to go check out our t-shirts, you can go there and you can order them if you really want a shirt. But I have a face on my shirt, but for some reason it's not popping up. Here it is. You get a coffee tea mug. I think I'm going to order this coffee tea mug. I really want this. So, but these are some of the older shirts, and that's weird. That's strange. Okay, that's weird. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have to update that store. They pulled my whole line of shirts. I'll have to talk to Sarah about this. Wow. I cannot believe it. I'm having a hard time with that. They pulled my whole line of shirts. Look at that. Unbelievable. Root rot is perlite. Perlite will help you. No, they're not sold out. They literally pulled my whole line of shirts. I'll tell Sarah about it. So Governor Inslee is going to require you to wear a face mask in public places in Yakima County. It's a legal requirement, mandated public face mask wherever you go. Unreal. Wow, that's shocking. So needless to say, we're not going to be able to actually fix the border fence because Donald Trump never really wanted to create a fence. He just used my idea to get elected. Tell a friend, okay? They're never going to build a fence with Mexico. It's my idea, and he just threw it out there to keep you happy for the past 3.5 years. The New World Order owns Donald Trump, and they're not going to have the fence built. I'm just telling you, okay? The fence is very important to our country, but not if we turn into a third world nation, it's not. It won't even matter. You'll have people flying into your house from other countries soon. If our government is told to stand down and when people are looting and rioting, like you just heard in that interview, you're not going to see our government stand up to the Mexicans coming over the border in mass. So it looks like they want to turn our country into a war zone. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about and you still think I'm some sort of conspiracy whack job, you're missing a great opportunity to help me and help us save this nation. If you've gone into the belief that, gee, you're just somebody on the internet. Yeah, because they keep me here. I have no other place to reach you. That's because the mainstream media filters anybody who speaks the truth out of the conversation. That's just what they've been doing. So if you think that it's ever going to change with a two-party system, it's not. It's never going to change. It's going to get worse and worse as time goes on. Your life is going to slowly deteriorate, guaranteed, unless we fix this, unless we build a new third party. And even then, it's almost too far gone. I mean, it's almost to the point where our country's borrowed so much money now that we'll never get out of debt. We'll have to restructure. We'll have to have bankruptcy. Now, the CDC has been doing some pretty shady things over the past few months. The worst of all is putting COVID-positive people in nursing homes around the most vulnerable people, old people. That's murder. The CDC and Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx are single-handedly responsible for that murder. They'll be held accountable when I become president. They've also suspended the reporting of regular flu data so that they could rig this data and make it seem like, oh, it's just out of control. The COVID-19 thing is just screaming out of control. Your plants are dying. It's probably near the 5G radiation plant near your area. Pelosi's blocking an investigation into China's coronavirus origins. She doesn't want anyone to find out that China, the Wuhan lab, is behind it, and that Dr. Fauci, under Barack Obama's authority, gave the Wuhan lab $3.7 million. Trump won't even talk about it. So Pelosi and Trump are in on this. They both won't talk about the fact that Fauci literally gave the Wuhan lab $3.7 million. Our country is behind, and Gates especially, and Soros are behind the spread of the coronavirus. This is a massive psyops being pushed on our society, and they won't even investigate it. I'm just going through some links here. Coronavirus is mutating. Scientists are puzzled over its impact. Do you hear about this in the mainstream media? No, you never hear about the mutations. Because if they told you about the mutations and the fact that this was bioengineered, They could never talk about a vaccine because a vaccine would never work because it's mutating. Logic tells you that, right? They don't want you to use logic. They don't want you to think. They want you to be told that there's going to be a vaccine and it'll be good for you if you inject it, because they want to inject human embryonic cells in your body with cancer, inducing viruses. I'm just looking for something here. Yeah, some states are planning to confiscate children if the parents test positive for coronavirus. Montana. If you're positive for coronavirus, your children can be taken away from you. This is the world we're becoming familiarized with right now. This is what they're trying to do. Just going through some things here. Fact check. Hospitals get paid more if patients listed as COVID-19 on their ventilators. They do. 39,000. That's why Andrew Cuomo said, oh, we have to have ventilators. He wanted the money. A woman actually has died as a volunteer in a human trial of their first vaccine. She just flat out died. This poor woman donated herself to find a vaccine. When it's impossible. They've been trying to create a vaccine for this coronavirus for 17 years. Don't kid yourself. Whatever they got now is designed to be poison for you. Exosomes happen to look like viruses. There's a big controversy about exosomes versus viruses. No one talks about that in the mainstream media. Exosomes are the things that your body creates itself that look like viruses to stop toxins. Meat shortages. Have you seen the price of meat going up? I have. I went to Costco today and I saw their meat department, and their grass-fed meat department was almost bought out, and it was like $25 for what was $15 last week. Costco, you know, the grass-fed beef, they just got rid of 54,000 pounds of grass-fed beef because they found a little bit of E. coli in it. So they literally dumped all that grass-fed beef, organic by the way. Organically grown, non-GMO grass-fed beef was just thrown in the dumpster. They didn't even make potted meat out of it, which you can do with E. coli. Anything that might have E. coli in it, you'd make potted meat with. Cook it at 185 degrees, it's perfectly safe. Oh no, to get rid of it. This is the thing I was looking for all night long. Thank you for waiting. Okay, this is it. Like I said earlier, if they want to stick a Q-tip in your nose, you don't know if it's not a tainted Q-tip with COVID-19 on it. Seriously. Here's the whole story. CDC's failed coronavirus tests were tainted with coronavirus. Here's the article. You won't find it anywhere in the mainstream media. Feel free to check it out, read about it, tell your family. Don't give up on the idea that your knowledge is warning and safety for you. Believe me, your knowledge right now is designed to keep you from actually getting hurt. It's not going to stop this plan that they put together. Unless I have political power, all I can give you is a toolkit so you yourself won't be poisoned. Have they put 5G in Sarah's Sewell? I don't think so. They want to swab your son before he goes back? What area are you living in? What area, roughly? I mean, you could say Canada or the US, but I haven't heard that this is being required of kids yet. I know if parents are told that this is going to be required, they're going to be very upset. Right now, most parents are willing to want their kids back in school. But I can honestly don't know. Oh, in the UK? Okay, yeah, you're much tougher over in the UK. We haven't had anybody approach our kids yet about this, but I wouldn't doubt they'll be talking about it in August. Yeah, the 5G is being deployed at the same time, and they never really tested it for safety in America. So I argue that we've got a problem there too, big time. We got all kinds of problems. Thank you for telling me that they're doing that in the UK. But for the CDC to have failed It's almost unbelievable. They literally have Q-tips that are COVID positive themselves. So there's no way their tests are going to be viable. And they've already gotten 80% false positive results, which means that 80% of the time you're probably not COVID positive when they say you are. As the new coronavirus took root in America, the U.S. Center for Disease Control sent states tainted test kits in early February that were themselves seeded with the virus. Federal officials have confirmed. I don't need to read any more to know that this is a plan to kill us all off. Same with the order to put COVID positive people in the most vulnerable area in nursing homes, which is murder. We are dealing with genocide right now from our leaders. If you think our leaders are trying to help us, you're wrong. They're actually trying to kill off the population. And they're more than willing to create anarchy to do it. They'll create anarchy, they'll force inject you. As long as you sit there and do nothing as a populace and don't create a third party, they're going to walk all over you until you're dead. So at least you've been warned, right? Yeah. At least you've been warned. Whew. Okay, thank you for coming into our show. It's always a pleasure to have a show to give you. I can't always guarantee what it's going to be like because it's always kind of like what's on my mind, but not many people can handle a live impromptu show 7 days a week, 5 hours a day, plus the extra videos we play. Yeah, we have a full 8-hour show every day, 7 days a week, including the videos. So that really amazes me. They pulled my shirt. I can't believe it. It's just crazy.
It's starting here, so.
Medics speak out about police violence. Good. That looks like a good video. All right, we're going to get the videos that are lined up ahead of us tonight. We got Black Lives Matter, or White Lives Matter, BLM Exposed, a couple of guys that do a good work on the internet trying to expose this. They are Trump supporters, but they are trying to expose Black Lives Matter, and I appreciate that. So I'll put up with the Trump supporters long enough to expose Black Lives Matter. But again, Soros is behind it, and Trump won't out Soros, so get disconnected from Soros. Oh, Soul Child, I don't know how you got unbanned.
It's starting here, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you got unbanned, but thanks for the link. Yeah, we got another couple of them. Okay. I guess Mark is unbanning you, huh? All right, whatever. We outed Soul Child. She's a robot. She's not even human. Okay, thank you for the links, I guess, you know. Okay, let's get into the bulk of our videos tonight. Thank you for coming in, everyone. Yeah. This is the Daily Show. We'll be back tomorrow with Sanctuary Sunday. We expanded out the 7-day format because people are still very, very in need of awareness, and sharing ideas is the way to do it. Tonight we outed the fakery of the George Floyd killing, showed you the medical dummy they used to make it seem like he died. We also showed you that no blanks, or rather no muzzle fire, appeared during the shooting of Rayshard Brooks, where he allegedly died. It's hard to die from blanks, so I'm having a hard time. We're going to take a look at the videos. A lot of these are designed to make us more angry, so bear in mind, we don't want to fan the flame of fear, and we certainly don't want to fan the flame of anger, which is precisely why a lot of these videos are getting more and more violent, because they really want us to ramp up our anger. I say remain calm. Our biggest enemy is fear. Our biggest enemy is anger and panic. Don't kid yourself. That's exactly what they're planning. They're trying to break us up as a nation. And these people from Black Lives Matter working for the Muslim Brotherhood are part of that plan. Our nation's under attack. Our president is a sublime idiot. There are all these things that you got to be aware of. But I've also given you a great place to hang out on a website. If you want to enjoy yourself, explore coolrock.com. And I'll sign off with that note. Take care, everybody. Good night.
In a world where bass rules the planet and its inhabitants worship sound, two superpowers collide.
We bring you a nightly
soundscape of incredible music. Join us at coolrock.com and watch Virtual Chat, great music, and interactive news links.
And one more note, you can take a look at any of the boards on there and play all the different musical instruments simultaneously at different times and just have fun with the site. There's also some gaming up at Web Oasis. If you go here in the top right and open that door up, take their drop-down menu on the left, and you'll open up the arcade button, which will be lots of fun for all of you. So don't hesitate to use the Cool Rock site. It's there for your fun, and it's definitely free. Have fun knocking out zombies or playing Car Rush. All these games are free. All right, cool. Thank you. Take care, everybody.
America is ready for a change. A third party is the change we need. Accountability in government, term limits for Congress, media verification, and a fresh approach to fixing our environment. We need a new direction for our nation. Join us in the middle of the political spectrum for our nightly commentary and discussion at America's Third Party.